What's up, duelists? It's finally time. We can get back into it. We can get back into the training arc. The hardcore, competitive, super try-hard training arc. We can start optimizing a deck list that I took to a tournament recently. Yeah, in between RBETs, we can actually start making some waves ourselves on some different stuff. So today I'm going to be working on zombies. I'm going to try a bunch of different stuff out. I'm not sure if I'm going to like any of it or not like any of it, but I have some ideas written down. What's up, Chris Flores? How you doing? Yeah, I have some ideas that I want to try out. So I've saved this deck. And something that's kind of cool that I recommend doing is like saving a couple versions of a deck, 3 and then maybe 4 or whatever versions of it. The players demand RBT Pittsburgh. Crackhead stream hours. Facts. It's after hours, bro. Alright, so we've got a couple different versions saved. We can alternate between. They're all identical right now, but we can start altering them. What about Good Goblin Housekeeping? No, I think that card is very bad, personally. I think it's unplayable to very bad. Lee Park should take some notes. I think I should take some notes from Lee Park. He actually played a very similar deck to this at RBT Santa Clara, and he just barely missed top cut. So, I should be taking notes from him, if anything. I think the one thing I noticed that I wanted more of when I was playing this deck is I basically always wanted Pyramid Turtle in my hand. Like to the point where I wanted to play like Giant Rat just to get Pyramid Turtle directly into play. I know that sounds crazy, but I really, really, really always wanted to draw Pyramid Turtle. I'm not sure if Sangan or Giant Rat's the best way to do it. How do I determine one-ofs in the side deck? That's a great question, Shad. So basically for this deck, let me put the prime material back in. I actually have a sideboarding pattern like written down. So for example, like when I'm siding, certain cards will come out. Like against Vayu Turbo, for example, I side out Starlight Road. And so because I'm siding out Starlight Road, I need one card in my side deck to bring in against Vayu Turbo. So I side out Starlight Road, and I'll bring in one DD Crow. Do you get where I'm going with this? One-ofs usually just come as like a part of your sideboard plan. So like let's say I have a sideboard plan where I have 7 cards I want to side out in a matchup. That's 2 3-ofs and a 1-of. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like maybe a couple 1-ofs and a few other things. If you have 1-ofs like in this side deck, let's talk about the 1-ofs in this side deck. Trap Dust Shoot and Torrential, they're easy ones because they're limited to 1. So we only get to play 1. That's simple. Dust Tornado and Royal Decree, they're both function fillers. So like in my main deck, I have Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm, and Royal Decree as a way to deal with back row. So that means I have 3 ways to deal with back row, 6 if you count Caius, and 7 if you count Dark Armed, which is a little bit soft. So 6 to 7 ways to deal with back row. In some matchups that have more back row, I want more ways to deal with back row. So even though they're technically 1-ofs, they're function fillers. So they do the same thing as other cards in this deck. And that's something that I think if you're building decks, you should start to get in the mindset of. Like, this card fills this function. This card is an interactive card, or this card is a back row removal, or this card is an engine card. This card is a playmaker. Because once you start to see cards for what their function is for your strategy, then you will start to be able to understand how to make your deck more consistent, more powerful, and better in general. So that's a great question. Yeah, and so for other 1-ofs, like in this case, Cyber Dragon is a 1-of. The function of Cyber Dragon is a special summon going second that isn't weak to deck dev, that can be summoned. There's a couple other function fillers that are similar to Cyber Dragon, like Instant Fusion. It's similar. It's not identical. Obviously, Book of Life, it's similar. Emergent Teleport is similar. It's a special summon. Consecrated Light, I'd say it's kind of in the same group as like Skill Drain and Vanity's Fiend. Their function is to prevent my opponent from executing their strategy, like entirely. So they're floodgates. So I'm citing those floodgates. The reason I have Consecrated Light in here is it's just a mix-up against Blackwings. It may or may not make the ultimate, the sideboard moving forward. It just depends on your sideboard plan. So like when you're preparing for a tournament, you want to write the 5 decks you expect to see down, and then you want to make a sideboard plan for each one of those 5. A sideboard plan that works. Keep in mind, you have to test the sideboard plan. You start by writing it, and then you test it, and then from there you go from there. But yeah, that's generally a way I would approach it. I think that's the most efficient way to approach it. And that's the way I approach this deck. Like for example, enemy controller. Let's go back to that function filler idea real quick. Enemy controller actually fills 2 functions. It's both an interactive card, it's interaction, but it's also an extension. It can take the opponent's monster, but it can extend my board as well by adding a monster to my side of the field. So it does 2 different things. And because I'm able to have a card that does both roles, it means my deck can do more with less cards. And it can have more avenues of play with less cards actually in the main deck. So I think this type of effect, enemy controller, or like versatile effects that can be interaction or they can be extension, those cards are very, very powerful. And it cannot be understated how powerful they are. Like, even though enemy controller isn't like as inherently good of a removal card as like Torrential, and it's not as inherently good an extender as like Cyber Dragon, the fact that it does both means that you have more avenues of play when you do draw it. And yeah, it's a good card. So that's something that I think is like the next level of looking at function fillers. Some cards do multiple things. So for example, Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment does multiple things as well. It's a summon stop, so it can stop like a Caius being summoned, but it can also help you force through a push. When I was looking at back row in this deck, the only back row that I wanted to play was back row that let me force through a push. Solemn Judgment does this really well because not only does it let me force through a push, but it can also act defensively if I absolutely need to in a pinch. Like I can pay 4,000 to negate a Caius if I have to, that sort of thing. So it does both, and it's why it's in this deck. So that's like, you want to try to get as many of those double function fillers in your deck because then it just makes your deck as versatile as possible. That's why cards like Pyramid Turtle and Shining Angel, I rate these cards very highly because the function that they fill for the deck is like one Pyramid Turtle can get you like search zombies, it can get you synchro play, it can get you a tuner, it can get you a beat stick, and it can get you a monster reborn. So Pyramid Turtle unlocks like 4 different things in this style of deck, and that's why I think it's so strong. Its function is, it's a multifunction card, and it has 4 functions instead of just 1. This is generally my approach to deck building. I noticed this more in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Like in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! You'll have a card that unlocks your quote-unquote engine, and then what your engine can do will actually dictate what it is that, like how good your engine is, basically. Like, for example, there's this card called Rocket Tracer, which isn't in Edison format. But the point is like, when you summon that card, it represents a bunch of different plays. And that's kind of what the Pyramid Turtles represent as well. When you summon a Pyramid Turtle, it represents a bunch of different plays. Recruiters being used proactively is very good. Yes, it's incredibly good in Edison format. It cannot be understated how good it is. I think that these cards have been underrated by noobs for a very long time now, and yeah, they're very slept on. The best decks can play around them to some degree, but they are still very good even against the best decks. The fact that Pyramid Turtle is also a zombie is really nice because you can bring it back with Book of Life. So it's like it interacts with your core and it gets you access to your entire core. So that's why I want to build a version of this list that has even more access to Pyramid Turtle. Whether that's through Sangan or through Giant Rat, I don't really know yet. But that's going to be kind of the focus of today's stream, I think. So we're going to start off by taking out some of the function fillers that I think were tech for a specific tournament. One of those is going to be Prime Material Dragon. That card was kind of tech for a specific tournament. Does it matter to play Jar of Yada? Is it for the mind games? It doesn't matter. I actually, in real life, I wanted to play this deck in low rarity because I don't like how foils warp. And I only had 2 common Legacy of Yata-Grasu and 1 common Jar of Greed. So it doesn't matter. Legacy of Yata-Grasu does come up against Dark Dust Spirit. If you guys know this card, Frog sometimes plays it. Legacy of Yatagarasu comes up against that. And then it also comes up against Yamada Dragon, which sometimes comes up. What was Prime Material Dragon for? It was for the Gladiator Beast matchup. When I took this deck to a tournament, and I explained all this in the deck profile of the deck, but when I took this deck to a tournament, I wanted to have a card that I could put into play against Gladiator Beasts that functionally won me the game. So like if I went Instant Fusion, sack for Prime Material Dragon, I was probably going to win the game against Glads 10 times out of 10. Or like 9 times out of 10. Like, and that's exactly what happened. I ended up playing against Glads twice in the tournament, and both times I was able to either put up a Stardust or a Prime Material Dragon and just win the game. So, yeah, that's why I was playing Prime Material Dragon. It was a meta call to beat Glads with a deck that otherwise would struggle with Glads. But other than that, there really isn't a great reason to play Prime Material Dragon. It's like decent against Value Turbo. It's like fine in some matchups. It's not good against... I don't think it's that good against Blackwings. It's like okay. It's better post-board against Blackwings, but generally speaking, the summon you'd rather be summoning is like a Monarch. So one of the changes that Lee Park made, SoCal Retro Ukes made when he played the deck was he actually cut the Prime Material for Ryza because he expected no Glads in California, and I think that was a correct meta call. I think that what I want to do with this deck moving forward is adjust the different stuff. That's my opinion on Monster Reincarnation. There is a deck that I really like it in, but it's not this deck. But I do think Monster Reincarnation is an underrated card. Yeah, I think Monster Reincarnation is an underrated card, especially because it can get back cards like Dad. So like if you have consistent access to Dad, Monster Reincarnation is very good. There is a deck here. I'll show you a deck that I was working on today that I sent to someone, and I can give you a little bit of a teaser. This is a deck I probably will play sometime in the future. But this is a deck that plays 2 Monster Reincarnation. And this is just a Norleris Dragons deck, but you can spam Dad multiple times with Monster Reincarnation. And I think that that's, like, generally speaking, pretty good. Being able to Dark Arm people multiple times, or spam Dark Creator, or spam Red Eyes, or whatever it is. If you have a monster that can really make up for that -1, or can take advantage of the card you discard, like let's say I discard a Dark Horus, I have back a Red Eyes, and then I can bring back that Dark Horus, like, if that's the case, then, yeah, obviously. Monster Reincarnation and Lightsworn feels better than Beckoning Light sometimes. Yeah, I would agree. Sometimes it does feel better. Anyway, let's move back to this, because zombies is going to be the focus of today's stream. All right, let's set this as the default. So we've cut the Prime Material Dragon because that was the easiest change. I think Enemy Controller, while it did fill 2 roles for that tournament, the cat's kind of out of the bag. I'd like to cut it to 1. Notice I was citing 1 out a lot, but the first one is pretty much always good. Drawing multiples can sometimes be bad. It's not the best card against decks that set a lot. So like against Hamster Caius, not Hamster Caius, but Hamster Raikou decks that are like really heavy on that. Like sometimes Machines plays 3 Hamster, 3 Raikou, and then even taking a Fortress is not that good. So I don't like it in some matchups. So it really depends on the meta where you want this. I don't love it against Value Turbo either because even if you switch something to defense, you're not always able to kill it by battle. Like, let's say like you switch like, I don't know, Dark Refer to defense, for example. You can't really run Dark Refer over that easily in this deck outside of just Mizuki and Pyramid Turtle. The best way to run over Dark Refer is actually Crash Turtle into Illblood. So that is a change I wanted to like sort of alter. A few cards I wanted to try. I wanted to try a more consistent way to the engine, which would be like Armageddon Knight, so we could turn 1 Book of Life more consistently. I wanted to try out a 3rd Book of Life, and I wanted to try out Giant Rat to get to Pyramid Turtle faster. We have more slots we could eat into. I think the draw traps are like, they're fine. They're not bad, but you can definitely cut down on one of them or whatever if we want to find more space. We could also cut down on, like, I'm not really sure. Sangan feels good. It's not. Goblin Zombie is pretty weak. I was just about to say we could cut down on Goblin Zombie in this deck, but you need the zombie count. The only reason we'd ever cut down on Goblin Zombie is if we were to play Armageddon Knight, which gets us more consistent access to Goblin Zombie through Book of Life or whatever. But I was just about to say that, like, searching something to your hand, it's quite slow. It's very different from, like, searching something to play. Sangan does have utility in sideboarded games where it can search Consecrated and DD Crow, but it's yet another deck dev target in a deck that already has far too many. So if we're going to be adding monsters, we're probably going to play not deck dev targets, or we're going to play monsters that we can crash and thin deck dev targets immediately into play and get an Illblood out as soon as possible. Yeah, like Anchor into Illblood is like something that I think this style of deck could lean more into. That being said, I don't really know. I would have to like rework the entire framework of this deck because like the enemy controllers are here because I was playing 3 Diva, and then Ultimate Offering is a fun card for zombies. Yeah, Ultimate Offering is just not a great card in this deck, in my opinion. But I'd rather just add more special summons. I think it's just too life intensive. It's a hard -1. It really only works with very specific hands. It forces you to overcommit into your back row. It doesn't work with Decree or Trap Stun or Heavy Storm. It doesn't work with Giant True Nate if you play it. So I don't really like Ultimate Offering. I think it's kind of not very good. The life intensive part is pretty tough. You're about to say add Sangan can add Consecrated Liar Duty Crow. It doesn't feel as good as just summoning a guy off Turtle and being able to keep advantage. Exactly, yeah. Like being able to keep your board is so important in this deck. Why both Diva and Psychic Guy? Usually just one or the other. Yeah, you just want special summons, man. I don't know. You just want to be able to put as many guys into play as possible. This deck is really good at doing that, so I was just maximizing the ways to do that. Yeah, like if you're able to stick a monster. Deck building is the hardest part in Edison. Hopefully this helps, Marcus. Hopefully this helps. It's like it's definitely harder than people think it is. You can brew something and have like middling success pretty easily, but brewing something that will consistently do what you want it to do is you have to be a good deck builder to do that. And not many people are. It's a weird skill. It's like not intuitive, I'd say. Where's Prime? I took it out for a second. If you're just joining, yeah, I explained that earlier in the stream. You can backwatch whenever and understand why we've taken it out, along with the second enemy controller. But we are just trying new stuff right now, basically. Some of the stuff I wanted to try was I did want to try Armageddon Knight and like a third Book of Life. And then I also wanted to try like a way to get to Pyramid Turtle like Giant Rat. This is more deck dev targets. I understand this. And so we'd have to maybe mitigate that in a way. And I'm not sure. Has Decree over Trap Stun been discussed? It was discussed in the original deck profile, which you can find on the... No, you don't gotta apologize. If you just tuned in, it's it was discussed in the original deck profile. But yeah, you should definitely go watch that if you haven't already. I think you'd have to rework the whole configuration of this deck if you wanted to play it with more deck dev targets. And I think the configuration change that would have to happen is you'd have to get the second Decree in the main. Your first Lightsworn deck was a disaster. You went X3 at locals with it. Well, did you take notes? If you're just starting out building decks, your first few decks are not going to go well. You have to take notes and you have to improve on them. Sometimes I'll take decks to locals 3 or 4 times just to get them right. So, yeah, and I spend a lot of time, like, theorizing and, like, testing stuff behind before I, like, post with it. So, don't get discouraged and probably just keep trying to approach it analytically. Is that even a word? Approach it from an analytic mindset. I do want a Book of Life. I do want a third Book of Life. I think this is a great extender. It's a great card into the meta. I do want to try, I think it was a Giant Rat. I think I wanted to try Necrogarnet too. I don't know if this is going to be good. This might, like, we're just +3 normal summons here, which is kind of gross. So I don't know if that's any good. That might not be good. One of these guys might have to go for, like, just something we can put into play turn 1. Pragmatically, there you go. Plastic Tube's got it figured out. So we were able to move the second Decree to the main. That gives us an extra sideboard slot here. Trap Summon for the push play, we got Double Decree, and Starlight Road, and Heavy Storm, and Space Typhoon, and Solemn, and Return and Call of the Haunted, and a shitload of extenders. So, no. I wanted to try these cards out. So these are kind of our test subjects here. These 4 cards here at the end. This is what we want to try. And so the best way to just get a feel for something is to go do a bunch of test hands. Oh, these 5 cards, I should say, because we're moving the second decree to the main. We're going to go test these cards. I should probably mark this decree. We're going to mark it and make it a royal command, but this is supposed to be a royal decree, and the reason we're marking it is to see if it would be better as a draw trap or not when we do the test hands. What about Mystic Tomato? That card doesn't do the same thing Pyramid Turtle does. Mystic Tomato doesn't crash and then out a monster that's in play. So like I can summon a Pyramid Turtle, attack into a Bora or a Sirocco, for example, get an Illblood out, and then run it over. I can attack with Pyramid Turtle, grab a Mizuki, crash with the Bora, then revive the Pyramid Turtle, and then be ahead in play. Mystic Tomato isn't as good an offensive threat as Pyramid Turtle is. That's why I like Giant Rat, because it's an offensive threat through Pyramid Turtle. What is the reasoning for Gardener? It's good with Bryonic, which you summon very easily. And it's just a solid card to send with Armageddon Knight turn 1. I just want to try it out real quick. This Royal Command is a Royal Decree for all intents and purposes, but we're just marking a card here so that we know when we draw it whether or not it is something we want in the final version. You like Trap Sun over Decree? Yeah, that's just wrong. Decree's better. Alright, Crash Turtle summon Ryukoki. Ryukoki's always an option. I prefer Malevolent Mech, but Ryukoki's nice because it is dark. But Malevolent Mech you can normal summon, which is nice. Okay, so let's go do a couple of test hands, and then we'll come back and we'll reassess if we like it. So this is, once you have a pretty solid build, this is a good way to approach like adding stuff. If you like Dragon Stack, it seems like you keep your hand size bigger. Maybe. I do burn my hand really quick. So in this hand, we have the Necro Gardener. This would have been a draw trap. This would have been a draw trap or a, I don't remember what else we got, an enemy controller or something like that. So far, not super happy about it, but the hand isn't terrible. We have Engine and we have Gores. So we have Engine and we won't die. But the Necro Gardener here, it seems kind of bad. You could float Turtle into Goblin, make Bryo Necro, which is like fine. But the Necro in hand, it's looking like I'd rather have this be a back row. We'll come back to it in later hands. We'll come back to it. But that's like already -1 point for Necro Gardener. This is like a way to evaluate the cards. This hand, we have the Book of Life, which I forgot to mark. I need to mark the Book of Life. My bad. I did it with the Royal Decree, but I didn't do it. Okay, so Book of Taiyu. All right. This is Book of Life. So this is Book of Life. This is Royal Decree. All right, cool. We've marked the 3rd copy and the 2nd copy of each, respectively. Okay. Why don't you do test hands by randomizing the deck list in the deck builder? Because I like to play the hand out and then see how it goes from there. And it's also better for stream, I think. So this hand is a hand we would have had otherwise. This hand's pretty good. You've got normal Diva, grab Diva, and then you can set up for a Brute Drago or a Stardust Dragon or whatever it is you want to set up for. So this hand's pretty good. But it has none of the new cards that we just added. This hand has double instant. This is a little bit less good, but it still does have instant into Illblood. Illblood, bring back Reaper. It's also got brain control. It's not a bad hand. Can't complain. But these are all cards that we were playing before. Let's just keep going until we find a card that we weren't playing before. Foolish Burial's utility does get better with the whatever. Okay, so Royal Command here would have been Enemy Controller or Draw Trap or Prime Material Dragon. All 3 would have been better than Royal Decree with this hand. So the 2nd Royal Decree is not looking like it really does what we want it to do. Here's a hand where Royal Decree actually looks kind of good, and the Book of Life looks kind of good. Okay, so like, yeah, this isn't a terrible hand. This is actually a hand where the 2nd Royal Decree looks good, and the 2nd Book of Life, and the Armageddon looks pretty good. Armageddon can activate here. You could send Necro. You could also save the Armageddon to send Plague, maybe. Have I tried Creature Swap? Yeah, that's a god-awful card, MR8011. It is a very bad card. In almost every single matchup, it is bad. But especially the most common ones, which are frogs and blackwings. It's bad. This hand has none of the new cards. All right, moving on. Okay, so we got Giant Rat here. Giant Rat looks great. It's giving us the whole full engine access. Crash, get Turtle, Crash, get Goblin Zombie. We're big chillin'. And we got Book of Life online. Or we could go Crash, get Turtle, Crash, get Illblood, and then run something over, and then have Book of Life for Turtle for follow-up plays. Yeah, this is a great hand. The Giant Rat is adding a lot. So the Giant Rat is the card I'm the highest on because just having Pyramid Turtle in more hands is good. Like, that alone is good. This hand has none of the newer cards. This is a pretty solid hand. Let's see. Okay, we've got a couple of the newer cards here. We've got Armageddon Knight. We've got Dad. We've got Royal Decree. I don't think I like the second Royal Decree that much. I'm also not sold on the Armageddon Knight. I think it might just be better to have Giant Rats. Like, weirdly enough. The second Royal Decree might be better if we had a Giant Rat here. Like, let's say we have a Giant Rat instead of Armageddon Knight. This hand looks good. Like, outright good. Because Giant Rat gets us to Pyramid. Pyramid gets us to Goblin. And then we have Goblin Diva. Yes, you can, Basher. You can run OCG and Modern cards as well. But we will play with the Edison text. So this hand has the Giant Rat and the Royal Decree. I kind of like that. Foolish Burial does look good with Necrogardener here, so it's possible Necrogardener might still be worth playing. I'm not certain, though. Even without the Armageddon Knight. I think maybe cut Armageddon Knight for a second Giant Rat might be the move. The more I'm looking at this rat, the more happy I am with it. We discussed cutting this Allure because there's not that many darks in the deck. But like if you draw it with like Return, it's not bad. This hand is very good, by the way. This is a very good hand. Giant Rat is really good. Alright. Yeah, this hand looks good too. You've got Turtle, you got Book, you got Diva. You really can't complain about this. I think about shooting Doji. The problem with these cards is like, let's circle back to the discussion we had at the beginning of the stream. I'm gonna cut this for a Giant Rat. And we're gonna go test this out a little bit more. The card function. What does shooting Doji do? It doesn't do anything. It just doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? It's like not a good card. It just doesn't do anything. It's a 1500 board sitter that ruins your own graveyard so that you can't Book of Life, you can't extend, you can't Illblood, you can't Mizuki. What if we just leave the Book of Tayu and play Morphing Jar? Not a bad suggestion. I am loving the Giant Rats. They seem so good. Just more Pyramid Turtle access is kind of exactly what we want in this deck. Yeah, it seems really, really solid. It keeps board. It applies pressure. It can get you to Illblood. This hand is good. Yeah, I'm liking the Giant Rats. I think 2 Giant Rat, 2 Royal Decree in the main instead of running the draw trap. So here we've got the Book of Life with no zombie. That's a classic. That's something I was scared of, like adding the 3rd Book of Life and then just not getting access to the zombies. That's why I added the rats, because it's more zombie access provided they resolve. But this hand is tough. This is not a good hand. Oh my god, what a terrible hand. That is a very bad hand. That was an unfortunate hand. So 3rd Book of Life, maybe still questionable. We might move it to, like, I don't know, different card. 3rd Giant Rat, perhaps. Who knows? This hand, we do have too many recruiters. This is something that I considered could happen when you have Giant Rat. It's like, sometimes you just draw Turtle plus Rat. But I'd probably rather have too many than too few. Curious why only 1 Mizuki. It's limited to 1. So you aren't allowed to play more than 1. Yeah, this hand is great. The Giant Rats look good. Zombies play more reactive, not much going on first turn. In a way. So this is a Royal Decree. Oh, we've drawn all 3 of our tech cards here. Are these any good? The Book of Life I'm not loving. What would this look good as? Let's say this is like not Book of Life. What would it look good as in this hand? Third Giant Rat? Wouldn't be terrible. We have Brain Caius, so that's pretty good. Maybe like... I'm not really sure. We could just put a Draw Trap back in. How much better zombies we get with 2 Mizuki? You can look at the format right before... Heck yeah, Tim. Enjoy your workout. You can look at the format right before Edison. Mizuki was at 2 and Burial was at 3 and Zombies was a tier 1 deck. And that was like pretty much the only difference. Oh, I guess Bionic was at 3 too. But with those 2 changes, Zombies was tier 1 in a higher power level format. With 2 Mizuki, this deck would be very good. It would probably be broken. It would probably be tier 1, like high tier 1. Like, we'd be having very different discussions with 2 Mizuki. But yeah, what looks better here? Because like, okay, look at these 5 cards. Spirit Reaper, not a big fan. I think that card is passive and it just opens you up to damage against Blackwings and just, it's not good against Glads. It's not good against the meta, really. It's another deck to have targets, kind of gross. Like, this is a Royal Decree. Okay, let's assume this is a Royal Decree, right? Because it's a marked Royal Decree. What is the best card here? Is it still just Book of Life or... would we rather just put a Draw Trap back in? Like, if we had a Draw Trap here, we dig to this, second Caius, and we draw into Krebins for turn. It's not great. But it does help us dig a little. We would be playing Spirit Reaper before Zombie... Or would we play Zombie Master before Spirit Reaper? Yes, I agree. Battle Trap or Draw Trap? Maybe neither. I wonder what would look better there. But that's food for thought. We'll go back to that hand. Okay, here's another hand with it. Yeah, I'm not loving the third book. I think we need to cut the third book. I think that's clearly a weak link here. So we cut this. Let's go ahead and get the Decree in there. I think the Decree is just right. We'll just put the Decree in. We don't need to check and see if it's marked or whatever. If we're playing more Battle Recruiters, we will need the additional Decree. The Necrogardna is still up for debate. The Giant Rats do look good. I do think that we want to have... yeah, it's Lightsworn format. It's the one before Edison. It is much better in Edison because you can grab Illblood, which is very good. Penguin Soldier for the double bounce. I don't know if you've much experience in Edison format, but Penguin Soldier is not a very good card. Generally speaking, people don't play it in Edison format because it's overshadowed by a lot of different cards. The last card here could be... I don't know what we want. Where are the 3 Kaias? Huh? Anyway, so the last card could be... I don't know. We'll put like a crazy... We'll put Trent. And then we'll just keep doing test hands. And we'll see what we want that card to be. We can... This is a good way to determine... like your last few cards is just do test hands and like draw that card 6th or whatever. So like Card Trooper or Grandmole, I don't really like Card Trooper or Grandmole in this deck. They don't really contribute to the strategy at all whatsoever. Card Trooper and Grandmole don't contribute to synchro plays. They don't contribute to Monarch plays. They don't special summon into the field. They don't really interact with back row. So let's say we had 5th card here, or 6th card here. What is the best 6th card here? What is the best 6th card in this hand? What would we want that we're not already playing? Is it just Draw Trap? Is it just Draw Trap? It's kind of boring, but like it makes sense. It could be Draw Trap. It could be, we could bring back the enemy controller. Cyber Dragon? Is it Cyber Dragon? Cyber Dragon's not bad. It could be 3rd Instant Fusion. 3rd Instant Fusion's not bad, especially with the 2nd Decree. Good morning, Alessandro. Okay, let's take a look at this. So, this is another one, right? We have a 6th card. What about Exile Force or Lily? Don't contribute, but they do stuff. let's focus on contributions. We want to contribute to the strategy. We want the deck to be as coherent as possible. So what is this 6th card here? You started playing like 2011, so definitely getting formats mixed up. You need to study Edison a lot more, but it looks super fun. It's a good time. It's a good time. But yeah, it's getting very optimal. So being up to date with the metagame will definitely help you build decks a little bit better. So, what is the 6th card here? What is our 6th card for this hand? What about Gale? That card does not necessarily contribute to the strategy. It does somewhat make synchro plays, but it doesn't make any synchro plays that we are really looking to make. What's up, Amir? How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, Gale is like, it's never gonna make a great synchro. It's gonna make like a 7. Why is there a Trent? Are you still dreaming? No, this is just our filler card. We don't know what 40th card to add to the deck, and I'm trying to figure it out by just like running test hands and just being like, okay, what 6th card do we want in this hand? What's a good 6th card in this hand that contributes to the strategy of this deck? Greffer. Greffer doesn't do anything here, though. We lure away the Necro. Greffer doesn't get us anywhere. We don't play like Malicious or anything, but yeah, Greffer just doesn't get us anywhere. I was thinking maybe Instant Fusion. Let's just see what Allure draws. Draw 2. This could be the Armageddon Knight. But wouldn't it be better off as just the 3rd rat? Okay, let's try this again. We need to get a good feeling for something that's like... Okay, this is an interesting one. Debris Dragon, we don't have any targets. But if we had targets, that'd be a good suggestion, but we don't have any targets. So what's the 6th card here? Marker is always good. It's always good until you start drawing like a ton and then you don't have Decree. Because like drawing 2 Recruiters is good if you have Decree. But drawing 2 Recruiters is bad if you don't have Decree because then you get deck dived. Tomorrow you'll play Edison for the first time. Do you think Quick Draw is a good newbie deck? I think that there is no deck that you're going to pick up and just crush with the first time you play Edison. But Quick Draw will teach you the most about the format at once. So your goal as someone who's playing Edison for the first time is to learn the format. And Quick Draw will do a really good job of teaching you the format. Pretty much. Are we milling much? Not at all. This is basically the same thing. It might just have to be a draw trap. Yeah, I think it just has to be a draw trap. I know it's like fucking mid, but I think it's just draw trap. The draw traps were in the deck for a reason, and it makes sense. Let's add the Necrogarnet in. I'm not still sold on it, but it makes Foolish Burial better, and it's an extra alert target, and yeah. As for the sideboard, I moved Decree to the main. Decree was a card for Blackwings, so that means we need one more card for Blackwings. Let's go up a Consecrated for now. So that's the best way to approach that. What about Breaker or Assailant in the main? They don't contribute to the strategy of the deck. Breaker kind of does, Soft does, but Assailant does not contribute to the strategy of the deck, especially not in game 1. So once again, let's focus on the roles that we are looking for with this deck. It's either access to double non-tuner, access to double tuner, or insane bomb payoff, or yeah, like a power playmakers basically. Breaker and Assailant are not. They're slow playmakers, I'd say at best. This hand is very good. We've drawn 4 of the cards that we've added here. The decrees do conflict with Gorge when you have multiple in, but Gorge is so strong that you just keep it in. Your opponent can't win if you have Decree plus Gorge most of the time, so it's probably fine. The Necrogarden in the hand is a little bit annoying. I do keep drawing it. The way I'd play this hand is probably just set Rat going first. Let's say it dies. We always get Turtle because it's our only target. On our turn, we draw for a turn. We found Caius. So a couple of options. We could crash the Turtle, get Goblin Zombie, sack the Goblin Zombie for Caius. We could crash the Turtle, grab Ill Blood. So like we could go like attack, let's say attack the guy, turtle dies. Get ill blood, main phase 2, run over their guy, main phase 2, bring out the turtle in defense. And then set decree, and then we have ill blood turtle decree, which is pretty cool. We could also just like crash, get goblin zombie, sack it for Caius, but grabbing a zombie to hand is like never really that good. It's not, unfortunately, it's not like Sand Game where you have like great targets to search. So here's that draw trap. It does look pretty good here. It could also be a reckless greed, just one reckless greed. Yeah. Reckless greed doesn't actually sound terrible, but I would have to fit 3 in. Creature swap isn't good with that many recruiters. Creature swap just isn't good. Let's just start with the baseline of even when creature swap is good, it's not. Like even when creature swap resolves, it's not good most of the time, and most of the time it's not going to resolve. So let's just start with that baseline. Creature swap is not a good card. Play 1 Gilman, that's worse than Giant Rat. Yes, definitely scrap that idea. This is an interesting hand. It's hard to tell exactly how it would pan out. But Giant Rat seems a little annoying because it's not getting us... Like, it always has to pass through. It doesn't get us a tuner right away. That's the annoying part, I guess. Because I'm noticing it alongside Mind Control here and just being like, man, I wish this could grab a tuner right away. But it's fine. You can always crash the turtle and then Mind Control main too. It doesn't really matter. So... yeah, it's a non-issue if you think about it. So I grab turtle, draw for turn. Is goblin zombie cool? So then you could allure here. You might even want a legacy before you allure, but you might want to leave the legacy to try and bait back removal. Who knows? But draw 2. If you're gonna crash and get ill blood, you always do that before playing your draw cards. That's like a play pattern that you should get used to if you're gonna crash draw, because you don't want to draw into your ill blood if you need to summon it from your deck. So you should save stuff. So this hand has the Decree Road Heavy Storm triple threat with Gores, so that's quite silly. It's probably just to summon Krebin's set Road Decree. Yeah, that's probably it. Oh, this hand is nasty. It's just Heavy Storm, Road Out Stardust, sack Krebins for Caius. And then you have Stardust Caius hitting for 49 with Decree. And then if they out your shit, you can drop Gores. And then you have another Caius coming next turn to Game Shot. So too many normal summons. I disagree. We can look at the deck configuration again, though. This hand has 5 normal summons, and it's still not even that bad. But yeah, I'll show you the deck configuration. So, 1, 2, 3. These are the normal summons that don't stick. 5 normal summons that aren't sticky. Illblood, I don't know if you would count Illblood as a normal summon, but 5 normal summons that aren't sticky. And then for sticky normal summons, you have 3 Diva, 3 Turtle, double Rat. Plague is sort of soft sticky because you can bring it back to sack it for Caius if you have to, but it does suck to do that. Krebins is sticky. Mizuki's also soft sticky, so technically Plague Mizuki in a sense. And then as far as special summons go, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ways to special summon, 13, 14, 15 if you count Mizuki effect, 16 if you count Diva effect, 17, 18, 19 if you count Illblood effect, 20 if you count Plague effect. So you have a lot of ways to extend in any given turn. That was kind of the thought process behind the initial build, was just like everything either extends or enables extension. Yeah, I don't think it's too many normal summons. By the way, like your baseline for normal summons in Edison format is always going to be Black Wings. So even like if you're considering all of these sticky, non-sticky normal summons, even if you're considering all of it, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 normal summons is less than Black Wings, which plays 18, 17 to 18. So Black Wings is always going to be your baseline for that. Caius and Illblood, I treat them more like payoff cards. Yes, they do take your normal summon though sometimes. But it was better to like discard or whatever. But yeah, this is still less normal summons than Blackwings and significantly less than Vayu Turbo. Psychic Commander off a Giant Rat. Oh, you're right, St. Productions. I'm just wrong. What would you have to do on your end to try to get a RBT in Puerto Rico? You would need to have a massive local scene there for me to even consider it. Not massive, but just like you'd have to be regularly getting like 40 to 50 people local, I guess. Mono Armageddonite to trigger Plague Book of Life. I tested it earlier and it doesn't trigger Dad on its own. It's only 2 darks on its own. It's not very good. It's worse than Rat. Rat's a much better playmaker. You guys are absolutely right. Saint Productions, that was a great call. I totally forgot about Commander off of Rat. So yeah, Rat actually does get you tuner access, so it's even better. Storo says, will you duel? I will eventually. I want to make sure the build is right first. This is my process before I duel. Why do you compare the amount of normal summons to Blackwings? Because that's the #1 deck in the format right now. It's like that's like a deck that everyone unanimously considers to be good. And because that deck has that many normal summons, you can play less than that and your deck can still be considered good as long as it does what it sets out to do. So like it's like, yes, you can have too many normal summons in a deck, but if all of those normal summons are incredibly strong or they're sticky in a way, then it's fine. Basically, is the point I'm making. But this deck doesn't have too many normal summons by any means, so will there be confirmation on future RBTs? Yes, obviously. Like I announce them all of the time well in advance, so yes. There will be confirmation. I got a Discord, yeah, description below. Check the link in the description below. You can find me in Discord there. Alright, so yeah, this is interesting. The Necrogarden is interesting. I keep drawing this fuck. I don't know if it's good. I still don't know if it's good. What do you guys think? This card's pretty good, right? It's just a solid card, right? I think this looks okay. This looks fine. It's not like, I don't know if it's as good as the original version, but this is some improvements that make the deck do what it wants to do more consistently. You've been testing zombies for the past few hours. Cool. Necro's good when you don't draw it. That's unfortunate. I can convert it solidly with Bryonic. That's the one thing that it has going for it, is that I can always Bryonic into Necro. But I don't know. It's like a utility card that doesn't really... I don't know if it's really necessary. This hand is good. Some of these hands are just crazy. Yeah, okay. So look at this. Oh, that's crazy. We drew all of our good foolish targets. That's ironic. Right as you said, it's making foolish better, Mr. Tag. We draw it with Mizuki and foolish. It might not be good. It might not be... I mean, like, this hand is fine. Just a turtle. Turtle dies, you get a goblin. You get goblin or you can get plague here. Plague here actually might not be bad. But then foolish is truly dead. I mean, it's probably fine, right? Alright, just grab goblin. Because you're probably searching plague anyway. It's a good decree. Yeah, grab plague there was probably better, because then you can summon Mizuki and then make Bryonic and pitch the Necrogarden. It's that decree. Yeah, probably. Do you ever deal with tournament anxiety? If so, what do you do to help yourself? Yes, I do deal with tournament anxiety. What do I do to help myself? A lot of tournament prep. So what I'm doing now is like how I would prep for a tournament. I would do this, and then I would test the deck a lot, and then I would write out my plans, and then I would just remind myself to stick to my plan. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, is just practice the nerves away. Just practice a lot and make sure you have a good plan and prep. Everything in life that you get anxiety over is probably just something that you feel, whether or not you are, or something you feel underprepared for. If you feel prepared for something, then you will be much less likely to get anxiety for it. So the more time in you can put, the less anxiety you will feel. And if you are operating under the restrictions of time, then it's at a point for you where you will want to reconsider your goals and your expectations. So let's say, like, I have all the time to prep. That helps the anxiety go away. It just does. That's like, when you do something, like, do you get anxiety when you walk? No, because you walk all of the time. This is obviously not for people who don't walk all the time. But you get what I'm saying. Do you get anxiety when you have to think about blinking? No, you don't have to think about blinking because you do it so often. It's like second nature. If you prep enough, it will feel like second nature for you. And then you will feel less anxiety. It's not a cure to it, but it does help you. Like, being well prepared does help you feel less anxious. Let's say you don't have the time to feel, now you're thinking about blinking. Yeah, I got you, motherfucker. I got you, Mr. Tag. No, I was joking. But let's say you don't have the time to prepare for a tournament, right? If you don't have the time to prepare for a tournament, then set different expectations. Just be like, I'm going to this tournament to have fun. And then that will alleviate the anxiety, because the anxiety is coming from your expectations. The anxiety is coming from your expectation to do well. And if you're not expecting to do well, and that's just like secondary to you having fun, then the anxiety will alleviate. But it's really important to be deliberate and conscious about your goals with any sort of game or whatever. You aren't breathing manually. Yes, exactly. Don't forget to breathe, chat. But yes, that would be my advice for it. But yeah, I do get tournament anxiety. I don't love the feeling I get when you're like, there's a really annoying moment in a tournament when you're like 5-0 and you're like, I need to win 2 more to get top 8. That is the most annoying feeling. Because, like, getting top 8 and then just winning a single Elim bracket, that's like fine. That's like just another Discord server tournament, you know? There's also best moves that you should make you feel more confident about your decisions, like openings and trades and chess. Just routine things you can move through without overthinking. I think that that would normally be the case, but in Edison format, it can be a little bit of a trap to not play everything deliberately. The best players make every decision deliberately. So deliberation comes with practice. But there should be no autopilot, but there should be second nature, if that makes sense. Moral of the story, you should get your seat time. Does that mean just like practice? I'm not fully understanding what that means, but yes, more or less. 10,000 hours or whatever they call it. If you're going to be comfortable, you're going to be less anxious. If you're going to be not comfortable, you're going to be not as anxious. The morning of the tournament, the things that I have found to help me the most is going for a walk before the tournament helps. Talking to as few people as possible before the tournament starts, just locking in, and do a couple test hands with your deck in paper. Those are the 3 things that I've found basically always help. If I can do those 3 things, like spend some time alone to really lock in and go for a little walk, even if it's just like a block or 2 before the tournament starts, and then do a couple test hands, then that's something that really helps. It'll help take the edge off those nerves. Yeah, I hope this helps, man. Tournament anxiety sucks, and anxiety in general sucks. So if you have like a heightened anxiety for whatever reason, whether it's medical or PTSD or whatever it is you're dealing with, it does suck. So I hope that these things help, but yeah, basically. It works for you 50% of the time. Yeah, sometimes that works, yeah. Anyone know of any Edison locals in LA? Collectible Exchange is the one I go to the most frequently. I think it's in Rancho Cucamonga, but it's like the shop is big, the locals are big, and it's very competent. So that's the one I would recommend. There's some other ones in the surrounding area that I've been to that I've enjoyed. I enjoyed Card Addiction locals as well. I think there's one my buddy was telling me about. I don't remember what it was. But those are the two that I've gone to the most frequently, and I've met a lot of what I consider to be some of the best players in the world at those two locals. So if you want to go to like a really good locals, those are the two I'd recommend. Might be a bit of a drive for you if you're like in downtown LA, or if you're in like Pasadena area or something like that. With the UK style RBT the week after, still undecided on what you play. What do you mean UK style RB? What? Got a Ed Locals coming up with the UK style. Huh? Coming up with the... What? Coming from downtown? Yeah, it is a little bit of a drive from downtown LA. Collectible Exchanges, but it's worth it. And the tournaments they throw have really good prizing. Like, the last one I went to, the prizing was amazing. I think I got a good amount of money, and I got like 4th place or something like that. Not money, sorry. I got a really cool card. I think I got like a Ghost Stardust or something like that for 4th place, which is like really good. The pricing is very good. They sometimes have PS5 tournaments. They sometimes have Switch tournaments. The store owner is amazing. The community there is very kind. And they're very, very competitive players. You'll see those guys topping almost every single RBET. Like, the week after, there's the UK Pro Edison event, which is like an RBET. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't even heard of this. What are you talking about? That's crazy. It's crazy that there's a big Edison event that I haven't heard of. Which one is that? Where is it at? That scene's getting big, man. That's crazy. This hand kind of sucks. This is a hand where I wish Giant Rat was a draw shot. But it's rare. This hand is good. Yeah, which one is that? This hand is good. Here's a question for you, chat here. Do you allure or not? It's in the UK. Only the second one they've done. How many players go? What was the first one? What was the attendance on the first one? I'm surprised I didn't hear about it. I would probably allure here. Here's the reason to allure. You have instant fusion into Stardust with Decree, and then you can return back the Caius for follow-up on the next turn. I'd probably allure here. 80 people? Oh, that's not bad. Thank God the Edison is on Wednesday. You have class on Tuesday and Thursday. Hey, there you go, Basher. Go check it out. Big for here. Yeah, that is really big for the UK. Did the Disciples turn out? Those boys are always so talented. They're very good at the game. I think they had a really cool list a long time ago in an online RBT that I loved. It was like a smokescreen list. I would allure here though, for sure. I think just set up the return. Yeah, this is insane. And now you can do. You could banish the Goblin Zombie if you want to. Yeah, that was this because you want to return before you decree. Like you want to go decree chain return on your next turn, So I think you want to alert here. I'm not sure if you banish Goblin. I think you banish Goblin. Because you go banish Goblin. Probably set Turtle. This does get fucking owned by Heavy Storm, but it leaves you with your best cards, and then Turtle can float you into either Plague or whatever else. There's an underdog tournament. Is that like anti-meta? Like, or not anti-meta, but just like... Oh, Heart of the Underdog. It's a format. Right. That's right. Heart of the Underdog, right? That's what you're talking about? This hand's good. Man, I wish this was a rat. Dude, I hate Goblin Zombie. It's like, it's so ass. You have to like set it. Like this hand is like, do you summon Commander and then just like Solemn any normal summon? Is that really what you're doing? In which case, wouldn't you just summon Diva, get Diva out of the deck because you don't want to draw a second Diva here? And then you just Solemn any normal summon. That has to be it. So you summon Diva, get Diva, Solemn any normal summon. Then on your turn, you draw Krebins. Fuck. Actually, it's not that bad. You can summon Goblin, then you can... Iron Knuckle, I disagree. I think that card is terrible, personally. I think it's quite bad. What card did we decide on? I think we're on 1 Legacy of Yatagrasu. Yeah, we decided on 1 Legacy for the last card. This hand's not bad. I wonder if we're still supposed to be on 2 enemy controller. I really do like the second enemy controller. I think it's very good. Yeah, I just don't think creature swap is like a winning strategy ever. Like every time I see a deck with creature swap do well, it did well despite having creature swap in it and not because of. It's definitely like a self-nerf. If anything, you'd like side 1, but it's like, dude, you have to sacrifice a sideboard slot. Like, okay, let's say I'm siding 1 creature swap in, right? I'm siding 1 creature swap in, right? Look at my side deck. Tell me, are any of these cards worse than creature swap? Be realistic. Be realistic. Are any of these cards worse than creature swap in the respective matchups that they're coming in for? And also, crashing 2 recruiters gives you such a high, though. How do you... You have to have 2 recruiters in play to crash both of them, don't you? Like, if you're just summon recruiter, creature swap their guy, you would have to have a second recruiter in play to crash them. Yes, obviously the high is crazy when it does work. Most of the time it's not going to work. Most of the time you're just going to get Icarus or booked, or your opponent's just going to have a shitty monster in play that you don't actually want. Like, they'll have like Bora set, or they'll have like a Raikou. And you'll just be like, damn, do I really want to spend a whole creature swap to give them a guy and then take their Raikou and then not be able to flip the Raikou and then they just run the guy into the Raikou or sack it for Caius or whatever? It's like, it's not very good. It's not like the worst card you could play. There are worse cards than creature swap, and the upside is like okay, but it's like it's just not. Like, there's got to be a better card in your deck. That Good Pizza says Book of Moon is for what matchups? Brother, I sent you the full written sideboard guide for this deck. There's no way you're typing that message in the chat right now, Good Pizza. You motherfucker. You know very well you could open up your phone, look at our messages, and see the entire written sideboard guide. Sí, Brian. Sí. Muy bien. ¿Cómo estás? I guess, how do I say, how are you doing? But like emphasis on that. Like, how I say, are you doing well too, I guess? I don't know how to say that. Hecka Pizza says, I'm helping. Who are you helping? Are you helping the creature swap people in the chat? Who are you helping? No Chimera Tech, but you have Cider on the side? Yeah. No Chimera Tech. Cider's is good, yeah. Usually you just sacrifice it or use it for synchro fodder. But here's the thing. I talked about this in the deck profile. Which obviously some of you guys haven't watched yet, which is totally fine. But this deck beats the fuck out of machines. Like, the machine matchup is like 90-10. E2. Okay, E2 and U, I see. Okay. There we go. Espero que bien. Espero means like I hope you're also good or something like that. E2? E2 means like and you, I guess. Yeah, okay, yeah. E2 is good. Yeah, but this deck just already beats machines. You don't need a Chimera deck. You just beat the fuck out of machines anyway. You just set a Pyramid Turtle and the deck's like, well, I guess I lose now. I can't beat Pyramid Turtle. Estoy bien. E2. That's the most common. Oh, thank you so much, Brian. Gracias. I hope you are doing well. Okay, cool. Ah, that's cool. Optimizing Edison and Spanish. Your dad wasn't wrong. Was wrong. Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't a waste of time. Well, to be fair, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not. I hope that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff can help you in real life, but let's be real. This game is, it's a tough one. So this is one way to approach the deck. There are a couple other ways I had to approach the deck besides the Giant Rats. But Giant Rat was my initial, like, oh man, I just want to draw Pyramid Turtle more. And I'm not even sure if it's good. I just know that it would make the deck see Pyramid Turtle more. Which, do we know if that's good? I don't know. Let's go play a match. People want to see a match. There are some awkward. Sure, we'll play against this guy. Good luck, have fun. This guy normally plays Ritual Fairies. I've played against him before. So we'll see if he's on that. What's up, Ned? How you doing? He's got 8 extra deck cards, so that doesn't sound right. Oh my god. That's such a good Giant Rat, dude. Look how good this Giant Rat is. That's so good. Yeah, so we'll see if he's on Ritual Fairies. I don't know. A little bit awkward. Manju doesn't get over this guy, but it's probably fine. Oh, that's a lot of back row. I don't love that. Well, that is a lot. That's a lot of back row. Huh? Can you explain enemy controller? It's like a brain control effect. I explained it at the beginning of the stream, so you can scroll back and watch it there. It's like pretty early on. I also explained it in the deck profile of the initial deck. This is a lot of back row. This is like Chain Beat or Chain Burn. 8 side deck cards. It could also be Glads. Not side deck, sorry. Extra deck cards. What's up, Odin? How you doing? I think this is always Instant Fusion into Kai's. Thank you so much for the gifties, Nab. Everyone who just got gifties, enjoy the members only content. I did go over the sideboard guide in detail for this deck. For members only, so you guys are about to get stuff. Some exclusive content. Yeah, it's gotta be Instant Fusion into Caius. We want to deploy the Caius, right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and pay 1,000. Does he have Royal Oppression? If he's playing Glads, he probably doesn't have it. Okay, so that's going to work. We have Reaper on the Nightmare because we have Mizuki access through the Rat. I'll sacrifice for Caius, and I'll be like, Solemn? Question mark. And then we'll Caius target a blind one. I'll just target the middle. The first one he sets, it might be chainable. Just middle sets are usually chainable. Like the first, people usually set their chainables first. I've noticed. Oh, there's Skill Drain. Okay, that's perfectly fine. That's like actually a card we're pretty good into. So let's go ahead and flip the Giant Rat here. We're gonna be able to deal 4,800 damage this turn. We could call back the Reaper. It'll be negated by Skill Drain, so it wouldn't die. But there's really no reason to do that right now. Let's just attack for 38. If he has Deep Prison, he should hit the Rat. Base Nab. So there's 14, and here's 24. Let's see what he's got for that. Fiendish Chain on the Caius the Shadow Monarch. That's perfectly fine. So maybe Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames. That makes sense with his configuration here. So we'll just pass the turn. Yeah. We have 2 main deck, Royal Decree, which should be really good against this deck. The Rat can get back the Reaper somewhat. Oh, this looks like this deck. This is Remove Brainwashing. This deck is cool. Yeah, the Rat can get back the Reaper because it goes into Turtle, and then Turtle goes into Mizuki. And then Mizuki can bring back the Reaper. Uriah incoming. No, this is not Uriah. This is Remove Brainwashing. We saw this deck on the stream. This is probably a bad matchup for us because we play 3 cards that steal things. So, yeah, it's probably a bad matchup. He's just gonna pass, which is fine. Oh, there's Royal Decree. That's a really good draw. Yeah, I'll just start killing tokens. Battle phase, rat attacks a token. Scrubbed raid. Can't send tokens for scrubbed raid. Have to send to grave as cost. Yeah, this is... He'll send Phoenix Chain. Alright, cool. So that ends the battle phase. Just go ahead and set Royal Decree, and we're be chilling. This deck is really funny. It's very interesting. What a top deck. Well, we do play 2, so not too upset by it. We're going to lose our Caius here, which sucks, but it is what it is. I might take some liberties. No, he's not going to attack. Okay, interesting. Let's go ahead and do some things. Can we win the game this turn? Let's see. Brownick only has 2 bounces, and he has, I'll say, I think, should be, call target Reaper, then decree after. So yeah, Reaper's negated by skill drain. So Reaper gets summoned, then I'll sack Reaper for Caius, chainlink 1 Caius, chainlink 1, target Grinder Golem, see if he has a response. He'll say TT, chainlink 2, Royal Decree. He'll Dark Bribe that. It's totally fine. We draw a new card. It is Mind Control. Cool. So, up a full card here, which is nice. How do we want to approach this? What's my way of getting this Grinder Golem out of play? I mean, next turn we just kill him. We just kill him with take... Or we can't take Grinder Golem while Remove Brainwashing is in play. That's annoying. So yeah, that's one thing that I didn't like about the Mind Control cards. Rbet. Let's see if he wants to send Remove Brainwashing. That would be really nice. Okay. Cool. So Caius attack a token. Enemy controller would be really good here. It would be better than Mind Control almost. I think I'm going to crash the turtle. Or crash the rat, go get turtle. Do I want to crash the turtle as well? And get plague? I think I do. I think I just want to put something strong in play. Right? Well, let's always get this guy first. So I take 18, I drop to 36. Sure, we'll do it. I'll take 1800. Drop to 36. Go get plague. Or does it get ill blood? Ill blood lets me make Brute Drago next turn. Crash Rat is a good name for a band. True. But he may attack the Ill Blood. Oh, making Brute Drago is so fucking good here. I'm gonna get Ill Blood. I'm gonna get Ill Blood and I'm gonna bluff the fucking shit out of this. Pass the turn. I'm gonna bluff I have Mirror Force. He's played around it the whole game. There's no way he doesn't play around it here. There's no way you don't play around it here. He's actually going to do this? Oh my god, that's so annoying. Why would you play around it the whole game but then not play around it here? That's very annoying. I dislike that immensely. It's quite annoying. Set a monster. What would you set with a skill drain up? Maybe it's just something for Scrub Raid. This is good. We can kill whatever this monster is and then Book of Life, Ill Blood, and then make Brute Drago though. So that's like fine. Solemn isn't terrible. Battle. So let's see if he wants to defend this. If he doesn't defend this, I'm like kind of like, what could it be? Yeah, like what? Thinking battle phase. Bruh, you said enter battle. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, it's chill. It's chill. Whole point was I just needed to get the monster in the grave. All right, so we'll Book of Life, Dandy plus Ill Blood. I'm not even sure if this is the right play, but I just want to put a Brute Drago into play. Banish this shit. Alright. Then normal Deep Sea Diva. Can't use the effect because of skill drain. Well, we can use it, but there's really no reason to. And then we'll just synchro into the Brute Drago. And Brute Drago is not great because Lava Golem is looming, but if we can find a way to deal with this stupid fucking Scrub Raid bullshit, then we should be okay. He's going to have to start sending real cards very soon. We'll put him under the Abyss very soon. With the Brute Drago. He has to negate this attack every single turn of the game. So unless he finds Lava Golem literally this turn or next turn, I think, then we should be okay. But him finding Lava Golem this turn or next turn would suck ass. Or Volcanic Queen, that would also suck ass for us. This is a pretty good setup he had here. He had the Dark Bribe for the Decree as well, which was really annoying and cringe. But we knew he had it because he set 5, so there's really not much we could do. The fact that we drew Mind Control is obviously really annoying. If we played more Gemini's pitch for the effect, it could have been funny. Unfortunately, there is skill drain in play. But yes, it would be good. He'll attack Archias here. It makes sense. Yeah, we'll lose Archias. It does suck. The Brute Drago is really good here. It is really good. It just... What is he going to send for the Scrub Raid? That's a real question. I think the reason he wasn't killing the Caius when I had the rat is because maybe he was trying to play a certain way. Battle phase. See the Scrub Raid activation. Send the set card. Sends additional remove brainwashing. Maybe phase 2. I can now set this to survive. Fine. I should probably switch this, right? There's no way this kills me, right? He's under the Abyss. It's like -1 card every turn, but he can just filter the draw phase of everything. I need to draw a Heavy Storm like yesterday. That would be the best outcome, I think. Okay, we lose the Caius, which sucks. Okay, set back row. Another back row, maybe? Set monster, okay. Whatever. Battle phase, Scrub Raid, send Stratos. Okay, so it looks very similar to the last one, but with Scrub Raid. 11 cards into his deck, and he just got a Golem. His monster count must be low. He has Dandy and Stratos as well. It's not that low. I need to commit the Mizuki. I have several outs to this. I have another Decree, Space Typhoon Heavy. I had Enemy Controller as well, which can just switch this to defense. But Probably he's attacking the sets. I don't know which ones he's attacking first. Turtle. Okay. Does turtle get turtle? What's in my sets? I've got. There's just turtle get turtle. This is a turn. Book of Life is nice. This is such a fucking annoying matchup. Injure battle. Scrub raid. Sends another back row. Or is he going to send a face up one? Okay. Pass the turn. This is very annoying. It's just like, this is taking a long time. Attacking the Mizuki. It's fine. Doesn't matter. He was thinking about sending Skill Drain there, wasn't he? Goblins. So now he has to send a real card. Now he has to send something that, like, matters. Major battle. Does he want to send something? He sends Skill Drain. So that makes sense. So he wants the Lava Golem effect to be active. Main phase 2. I can set Goblin Zombie. I can Book of Life. Preserve the Mizuki. So it's set Goblin. No, I save both, don't I? Hold on. He has too much cards in his hand. I have to play one. Book of Life, target Turtle and Strauss. Pass the turn. Keep the Illblood in the grave because obviously. What a fun game this has been. Actually, I don't know why he didn't send the Remove Brainwashing before the Skill Drain. He maybe needs it or something for the KO. Double, triple tribute for Beast King Barbaros. Activates the effect. Okay, well I do have Starlight Road. So it's quite difficult for him. Okay. It could have been hype. It could have been hype, but okay. Yeah, we've got some stuff to deal with this matchup, I think. It could have been hype. It could have been hype. I'll give him that. Vanity's Fiend is insane versus deck. Book of Moon is also a way to play through Skill Drain if he draws it, and Fiendish if he draws it. Yeah, Book of Moon is actually pretty good here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Road is actually terrible against him. The fact that it worked is hilarious. That's actually really funny. It seems very bad here. Mind Control seems like it does nothing. I'm just going to side it out. Brain and Enemy Controller could work if we like clear the Remove Brainwashing. It could work. All the Battle Recruiters are great. Seem like they make a lot of sense. Gore's probably not very good here. I'm going to just side out some arbitrary random bullshit. That's deep cut. I love Barbaros. Okay, let's see what else are we cutting. I have to cut 1 or 2 more cards here. It might just be Brain Control. Brain Control's good, right? Copium. He has Remove Brainwashing. It can't be good. Alright, what is this? 5 out. I just won't bring in Torrential. Fuck it. Yeah, I've played a much mindless deck. I don't think this is a mindless deck. I think his deck takes a lot of skill. I've played that deck before. It's very hard. It's a hard deck for sure. Wait, is he gonna pick? Is he gonna... All good? Question mark. This is one of the cool decks, though, from the last RBET that was featured on stream that I would like to play more of. What did I side out for this? The draw trap? Fuck. I mean, this hand's fine. It's not, like, terrible or anything. You just save Dust Tornado and then you chain it to the remove Brainwashing. That's the goal. This hand's good. This hand's good. Ain't no way. He's full pass on us. Am I dead if I do nothing? Am I dead no matter what? Full pass is fucking psychotic. That's got to be like breaker or something, right? I think we did full pass too. Trade-in. Okay. That's not what I was thinking we would see here, but back row and vase. Love it. Love it. I'm loving it. Instant Kaius, Book of Life. Rip the hand. I want this game to end right now. I want it over. I'm banishing your back row, buddy. Fiendish Chain. Okay. Sure. I am going to take a card from your hand right now. It's going to be discarded. I hope you're ready to be discarded right now. 800 direct. Activate the effect. Get absolutely discarded. What do we hit? Space Typhoon? Not bad. Chances of us getting Lava Golemed? 1,000. Which of these do we set? We set one of them. It's gotta be Book. Alright, pass turn. Book's the most logical. There's Beast King Barbaros. That's fine. Doesn't matter at all. He attacks this. I'll just take the damage. It's 1,100. That's fine. What have we got? Skill Drain. Another Skill Drain. Alright. Awesome. So, here's a tip. Pro tip. Sacrifice for Kaius. Activate effect, target Barbaros. Does this just work? Chain Skill Drain. Chain Book of Moon, target Kaius. Chain Dark Bribe. Okay. So, our monsters can now attack. Not that it matters, because there's a Skill Drain in play. Switch Sky to Defense. Set our Dust Tornado. Like hardworking citizens. And crash to play around Lava Golem, right? That's the play. Yeah. Hold on, let me think. Yeah, crash to play around Lava Golem. Okay, fast turn. People may not understand this, but that was a 7-head level play. Battle phase. Tax the Reaper. I'll go ahead and Dust Tornado the Skill Drain. And then set Call of the Haunted off of the Dust Tornado. The Reaper can't die by battle. I can now start hand ripping again. I don't know if we want to do that. It's very, very dangerous on the life total end of things. Maybe I shouldn't have crashed the Caius. No, it was always crash the Caius there. That was always correct. Passes the turn back. Oh my god, he passed the turn back? Is there a way I can kill this thing? Okay, hold on. I take 18, I get plague, I can dark end it, I guess. Yeah, it's probably plague, right? It's probably plague. Probably take 18, get plague, make dark end, pop Barbaros, main phase 2, and then hand rip for 1. So we do this first, because if he has Crow, I want to know before I commit to summoning. Summon Commander with Rat. No, I want the guy who rips the hand against the combo deck. I want this guy. I think he's more valuable than the Caius, actually. I think the hand rips are crazy. Normal Turtle, Switch Reaper, Battle Phase. Crash Turtle first in case of Battle Fader. Go get Plague. Then we attack directly here. Afflict 800. Snipe Lava Golem out of the hand. I am trying. He said, oops. Yeah. We should have played a card, shouldn't we have? We should have set our hand, shouldn't we have? Oh, yeah, we should have summoned that. For sure. Main phase 2. We'll synchro into Dark End Dragon. And activate Dark End Dragon. Okay. So, not the worst, I guess. We got to use our call. Oh, shit. So I'll move it over here. That's not the worst. And if he doesn't have a play, then we're just going to take cards from his hand for the rest of the game until he runs out of cards. Like, this will either, like, if he has Scrub Raid or something along those lines, it will force that action now. Or if he has, like, Volcanic Queen, it forces that action now. Whereas, yeah, GG's. GG's. That's why, Janucci, I didn't use the Reaper, because against these types of decks, sometimes they have cards that are, like, that build up in hand, that kind of just sit there. But yeah. So how did I feel about the deck? How did I feel about the changes we made? Let's reflect upon the replay. This is important to do when you're testing. It's actually really important to do, because if the changes were actually bad, then you just revert them to what it was before. Let's see both hands. So could I have played this game a little bit better? Could he have played this game a little bit better? Let's find out. First off, first things first, the Giant Rat. Excellent. Look at this hand. This hand is actually quite bad, but then Giant Rat really ties it together. It gets us access to the Pyramid, which gives us access to the Goblin, which gives us plays. And we can easily make those plays thanks to our backup. So, yeah, the Giant Rat seems really good. He goes with the set 5. My predictions were Glads, Gadgets. I think there was one other thing I predicted, but I have Road, so I want to commit into Mirror Force Torrential because I want my Road to be live. So I Instant Fusion out. I also don't really expect 8 sideboard cards, or 8 extra deck cards to have Oppression, so I think this is pretty safe. I go for Caius, target the middle. The middle one was chainable, but he would have just chained Skill Drain no matter what, no matter where it was, so it doesn't really matter. Swing for 14. He could have scrubbed Raid here, but he decides to Fiendish the Caius. I don't think that Fiendishing the Caius here was necessary from him. He didn't need to do that. Pass the turn back. He has the Grinder Golem. Brainwashing, gets the Grinder Golem back, and he's got Beast King Barbaros. So cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned in face of attacker position. If you special summon this monster, you cannot normal summon or set a monster the same turn. So you can't play Beast King this turn. The skill drain is shutting off his Beast King. We draw Royal Decree, which is the best card to draw here, obviously. The rat seems very good. So I'm happy with the rats. Let's go to the next game. I think the reflection on this game was like happy with the rats. If anything, like we could go to the end of this game and just see if he could have done anything differently than the Barbaros shit, but that's worth doing. So we get Dark Bribe here. We drew a dead card, which is whack. Crash, get the turtle. Yeah, get our engine online. Just get the turtles out of the deck. Thin the deck a little bit. Maybe try to find Heavy Storm, something like that. Set up for the play next turn. I am fucking shocked he went for this attack. This didn't make a ton of sense, but because he just wasn't attacking me on the previous turns, but yeah. Okay, so attack the set. He just sends it to end the battle phase. Same outcome, more or less, but we would have cleared one of the tokens. In phase 2, make the Brute Drago, and then pass the turn with the set Mind Control, or not Mind Control, Solemn. Runs over the Caius, makes sense. He drew Stratos. The turn I want to get to is the turn he Barbaros. Set the turtle, attack. If he had drawn a Lava Golem at any point, we would have just got fucked, like, pretty hard. Sends the Stratos, we set the Mizuki. I was just stacking bodies in play, but if you, like, Lava Golem, the Brute Drago, and the Pyramid Turtle, then whatever. He is under the Abyss, because the Brute Drago threatens, like, game basically every single turn. So he Scrub Braid, sends up Remove Brainwashing, draws Beast King. He could have started committing these Beast Kings, but maybe he was scared of like Torrential Mirror Force with Brute Drago in play. That's pretty much game ending. He could have gone for Plasma, but that doesn't make a lot of sense because Skill Drain negates Plasma, so it's like kind of an awkward non-combo here. We go ahead and set Book of Life out the Pyramid Turtle to build up a wall. He does have the Volcanic Queen. So he actually could have summoned the Volcanic Queen to our side of the field and we probably would have lost. So he actually did have another play. But he went for Beast King into a potential Road Solemn. But we had Road. He didn't have to concede there. He still had the Remove Brainwashing, I believe. Did he still have the Remove Brainwashing? I don't remember. Unfortunately, there's no rewind button on the thing. I think he still did. He could have still, like, Volcanic Queened and still played that game out. But he was probably going to lose that one. If he didn't... If he just went for Volcanic Queen... How do we win that one? We would have had to draw like Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm to come back into that game. We could have, and it was very doable. Like, we had the resources to do it. It just was a pain in the ass. All right, pass turn, trade in, draw 2. So he opened up Typhoon, Skill Drain. He didn't want to set Skill Drain into having to Typhoon a Dust Tornado, and Dust Tornado hitting the Skill Drain makes sense. Exodius, I don't know why this card is played in his deck, but sets the chain because he has to, or else he'll discard. Here comes instant into Caius. Finishes the Caius, Book of Life the Reaper, banish the guy, attack for 800. Volcanic Queen is one of the cards I predicted being in his hand. We get a hand rip here, we hit the Typhoon, which is an insane hit. It's a very good hit. Looking how bad his hand is, it's very good to hit the Typhoon there. Set book, here comes Beast King, attack the Reaper. I'm like kind of fine with that. He sets 2, we draw another Caius. He drew Bribe for turn. That's a pretty good draw. Sack for Caius. He could have Volcanic Queen the Reaper. No, he can't. He normal summoned that turn. He normal summoned Barbaros. So he couldn't have done that, actually. Chain Skill Drain, Chain Book, Chain Dark Bribe. We'll draw a Rat, whatever, that's fine. Set the Dust Tornado for the Skill Drain. I still think it's important to have Dust Tornado alongside Royal Decree because some matchups you just need Floodgate outs. Crash to play around Lava Golem. So this is where I think he fucked up. He should have sacked my guy for Volcanic Queen and then attacked it. I understand why he was like trying to sandbag here, but like Space Typhoon, Dust Tornado, even Trap Stun here is like not great for him. Or Decree. So yeah, he should have sacked for Volcanic Queen, then ran it over. It's a little bit more guaranteed. Plus he gets damage in. Typhoon the Skill Drain. Set the call. He passes back. He doesn't sack for Volcanic Queen. Interesting. He doesn't put Beast King or Grinder Golem into play. He could have put any of these cards into play. He should have put Volcanic Queen into play. That was his big mistake here. Either way, we still have the call, crash into Dark End line. But I had a prediction that his whole hand was like Grinder Golems, Volcanic Queens, and he's just like not using them. Call back Caius, switch, crash. I wonder if there was a better line here. I don't think so. I think we just had to get Plague. So he said oops because now he's realizing he should have sacked it for Volcanic Queen. So you're going to Dark End, pop. He drew Metal Reflect Slime. So here he goes Volk, Metal Reflect, but he just loses. Like, he could put... Yeah, he just loses. Yeah, this is just a loss. He probably should have Volked the Reaper on the turn before. That was his big mistake. He kind of got chewed up by Reaper. He didn't respect it. This was an interesting game. I think he actually could have beaten us, both game 1 and this game. I don't know if he would have, but he could have, had he played slightly differently. Interesting. This matchup looks miserable. This looks very difficult. I think he's just a little bit better at putting 3,000 monsters in play than we are. And I have 0 monster removal. Like, I could put up a Brute Drago, and Brute Drago is good, but all he needs is just like a second way to deal with that. That's good, Iron Knuckle. I'm happy that this helped. This stream was meant to be like purely educational for people trying to get good at tournaments. Because I think that this is like a deck that... I put a lot of time and effort into this deck for tournaments specifically. And like analysis is important for preparing for tournaments because you have to know like, okay, like let's say you go, you can have a deck that beats the shit out of people who misplay. Most decks beat people who misplay, right? Can your deck induce misplays? Like him playing into that Starlight Road. Was that an induced misplay, or is that something he should have read a little differently? Who knows? But that's an advantage that can come up in a tournament setting. So it's something to consider. Starlight Road is one of the best cards to induce misplays because it'll make just its existence will make people hold Heavy Storm when it's not correct to do so, or it'll just hard lose them the game by like trenchling or mirror forcing when they don't need to do so, or perhaps, just puts them in a checkmate situation. I forgot the initial thought behind this whole monologue I was doing. There was an initial thought here. But, let's say you go like 3-0 at a tournament, your first 3 opponents misplay. Then you hit a wall, right? You're going to hit people who are playing well. You're going to hit people who are 4-0, 5-0 who are not misplaying as much. You need to be able to beat those people by A, forcing them to misplay, B, outdrawing them, or C, some combination of the both, or D, just outright reading them correctly and outplaying them. So like once you get to this threshold, which is like, I'd say it's like the round 5 curse. How you break the round 5 curse is like, you want to get an advantage on someone else who's 4-0 with regards to one of those things. Like, let's say your advantage is you want them to not be able to read you as well. So in the circumstance that you want them to not be able to read you as well, you play a deck or you play techs that are like not that are not conventional, or you play like a new list. The second one, which is like outplaying the opponent or outreading the opponent, that's just 10,000 hours shit. If your opponent's playing a meta deck, or they're playing a deck that you're even vaguely familiar with, you can understand what they're doing, or just based off their play patterns, circling all the way back to the beginning of this stream where I was talking about like card function, you can read cards based off of what you think their function is. So like, people will set stuff up by setting like generic removal, like Regeki Break or Space Typhoon. So you can understand the function of a set card, and that's like another layer of reading. So even if you're playing against a strategy that you're unfamiliar with, you can read strategies that you're maybe unfamiliar with because you can be like, okay, how does their deck function? They need at least these amount of cards to function, and then you can start to get reads on them mid-match, and you can sort of dissect things that you may not be familiar with. And then the third thing, which is like outdrawing the opponent, is just making sure you're playing the most consistent, most powerful deck possible, which is why we did all that prep earlier with like the test hands and all that stuff. That's super important. You have to make sure your deck is like, you need to make sure your deck is like consistent and consistently does what it wants to do, which is something that a lot of people don't really know how to make happen, I guess. And then that just takes time and effort, like I said, the test handing and like practice and all that stuff. And then the last one, which was inducing misplays, cards that induce misplays. Yo, King Ray, if you message me, bro, like this every single stream, I'm gonna have to time you out. It's like every single stream, bro, every single stream. Anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is like, where was I going with this? I forgot the last. Oh, yeah, Starlight Road. Or like mix-ups. Cards that are mix-ups. Cards that you can bluff with. Starlight Road, draw traps. These cards induce misplays. So it's another angle in which you can get victories against opponents who are at higher or equal skill level to you. You want to win information wars. And the best way to do that is with cards that allow you to obfuscate your plays. Skug says, you're notorious amongst your friends for being easy to read. Okay, do you want to improve that? Tell me if you want to improve that. I can give you advice on how to improve that. Yeah, I can give you advice on how to improve that. If you want. I don't know if you want advice, but if you do, I can tell you how to be harder to read. Because that's something that, like, the top players, they do really well. They're harder to read. Yes? Okay. So, do you play more in paper or on dueling books, Gug? I can give you advice for both. But the first, I'll just give you advice based off of which one you play more of. The first thing about being hard to read is knowing the meta. So it's going to be a knowledge. You play paper mostly? Okay. So paper mostly stuff, it's going to be body language. It's going to be like, when you set your cards, like let's say you're setting 2 back row. Let's say you're setting a Royal Decree and a Legacy of Yatagarasu. Put them face down in your hands in front of you. Shuffle them up and set them in front of you without knowing which is which. Make it hard for yourself to read. So like, don't give yourself less information. If you're like bad at giving away shit, like, oh, this back row's real. Then when you check your back row, check them all at once. So lift up all your back row at the same time. Check all of your back row or none of your back row. Either memorize what's in your back row or don't. And then randomly think, just like in response to shit. Just say, I'm thinking here. Just randomly think in response to shit. Give just like 3-second intervals. Just be like, hey, I need a second. Like, hey, I might have a response here. Okay, you're good. You can do stuff like that. It just makes your opponent think you have something you might not have. Another thing is, if you have a hand trap, it's usually pretty good to set your hand down. It makes it look like you don't have a hand trap. And just remember that you have a hand trap and remember to use it. So let's say you have DD Crow or Gores. Just set your hand on the table and just look at your opponent and look at what they're doing. That sort of body language tricks so many fucking people. So many people will swing when your hand is on the table. Every single time. Like, that works a ton of the time. Body language is everything. Try to look the same all of the time. Try to look exactly the same. Yeah, I'd say. And then it is a game at the end of the day. And, like, if you get excited over something or you get upset over something, you know, show it a bit. Fuck it. Then, once you realize what you look like or what your tells are, you can clone those tells. And then maybe sometime when you're, like, excited, just act the way you would act when you're upset. Like, let's say you draw a card, and let's say you draw Dark Arm Dragon, right? But let's say you draw, like, Solemn Judgment or Starlight Road or something like that. Maybe, like, do, like, a little twitch with your face to look disappointed, and then set it. And then your opponent will play into it. You know what I mean? Just do a little twitch with your face, like, be like, ah, man. Like, right as you draw Mirror Force. You know? You don't have to verbalize it or anything. But just give a little bit of a body language tell to your opponent that you didn't maybe draw the best card for that situation. Especially if it's a card like Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute, a card that they're going to play into. Yeah, and this is all just like micro stuff. This is stuff that like this is beyond the deduction stuff. The deduction stuff is just going to be practice and like constantly asking yourself questions. So like if I want my opponent to play into a Starlight Road, what's like a what's the best way to set up that Starlight Road for the opponent to play into it? Ask yourself about all the times you've played into Starlight Road. What convinced you to play into the Starlight Road? Was it because you had to? Was it because your opponent set a lone set and then the Starlight Road later? Like, what was the setup there, you know? Mambo says, once you were playing against GBs, you had Dust Tornado and Heavy Storm set. This guy summons a quest, something, and you say think. Then he doesn't go into Bestiary because he's scared of Bottomless. There you go. That's exactly the type of thing you can do to sort of convey to your opponent through your nonverbal or sometimes even verbal communication that you may have a response. That sort of thing just keeps the options open. Like if your opponent summons an quest there, you don't even look at your back row, you're like, yeah, that's fine. Unless you've been doing it the entire game. Like let's say you do have Bottomless. Maybe don't look at your back row. Maybe say, yeah, that's fine. And you want to convince him to Bottomless. Convince him to pop in the Bestiary. You find this deck super difficult to navigate board states. Does it still flow like the OG zombie deck, or is there certain OTK line this deck has? It's very different. It's not entirely different, but it's more Crash Recruiter focused to navigate positions. And then he calls a judge because he says, I couldn't legally activate anything on the summon. You couldn't think on the summon. Yeah, he would be ruled against in that because you can think on the summon because you need to look at your back row and check. So, yeah, also, you don't ever have to let him know that you couldn't legally activate something there. Unless you had to flip those cards later on. No Chimera Tech for the Cyber Dragon. That was covered earlier in the stream, but basically you destroy the fuck out of machines anyway. You don't need the Chimera Tech. But you do need actually all of these cards in the extra deck. All of these cards do come up. So all of these cards come up, but Chimera Tech is like not that useful. And Cyber Dragon is mostly used as just like an extension piece or like a beater. Like it's just an extra special summon. If you're looking at this deck, there's like 20 ways to special summon. Cyber Dragon's just like a way you can swap in another special summon that's more resilient to something like Deck Dev or whatever. But it just functions as a special summon / beater / extender. But Chimera Tech is just not necessary. You just beat machines anyway with this type of deck. The only change I'm not like super happy about is having to cut the second enemy controller. I think if we could fit the second enemy controller back in, maybe over Necrogardna, this deck might be gas. That's the one thing I'm like kind of on the fence about. Yeah, that is a stupid judge call. Exactly, yeah. I hope this helps, Skug. I like genuinely hope it does. Yeah, I'm in a sort of lecturing mood tonight, so I decided to stream zombies because these are just the thoughts that were going on in my mind. Tight extra deck, yeah. You just don't need it. You just don't need it. Like, Chimera Tech is a great card, and it's great when you have the extra space, but this deck really doesn't. Like, you need all these guys. Every single one of these cards will come up. I don't have space for a second 5, which I would like. I don't have space for a third 7, which I would like. Something like Ancient Fairy wouldn't be bad. I would like a second Stardust because we have Road and we can make 8s pretty easily, but Brute Drago has to take the spot because you need a 3K, and he's like slightly better than Red Dragon because of how he plays into Absolute Zero. Yeah. You still feel like Zombie Master is goated with Ill Blood. I'm not a Zombie Master fan. I think the card is just like dead all of the time. It doesn't unlock anything. Yeah, I'm pretty against Zombie Master. Like, If you looked at the game we just played, would Zombie Master have been good? No, but that's like a freak instance. In all of the other matches that I uploaded to members only, you can watch those too. Zombie Master just never comes up. Like when you cut it, you're just like, okay, I can see why we don't play this card, because it doesn't contribute to the deck's primary function unless you're already kind of set up. If you're already kind of set up, then Zombie Master is not the worst card you could have, but you have to kind of get to that point. And getting to that point is kind of a pain in the ass. It takes a lot of legwork. Whereas, like, if you have Ill Blood, I don't know, it's the same thing but stronger and works better. Like, you can just crash a turtle, grab an Ill Blood. You don't need to have another monster in hand. You can just run something over, normal to Ill Blood, you know. You didn't see the game. Oh, no worries. Yeah, but Zombie Master just doesn't really come up. That's how I would describe it. Zombie Master needed to be 1900. If it was 1850, it would be insane. If it was 1801, it would be insane. The fact that it's 1800 is so bad. It's so bad. If it was 1900, like, that's why Psychic Commander is good, because Psychic Commander is a functional 1900. Whereas, like, I lost my train of thought. I timed him out in the chat because he always spams he wants to play. So I reject the user. Seeing you play zombies was legit. We're going to play another match. But against someone who isn't stream sniping. You been chilling? Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy. You spam it every stream. We got to get someone else who's not watching the stream. Why rat over tomato? Scroll back and watch the stream. It was explained earlier in the stream. Good thing the YouTube has a rewind function. It really helps. It's kind of dead. Maybe it's because it's 1:30. I was thinking about calling it a night soon, maybe. But I only played one game. Yeah, King Ray, but you know the exact deck list I'm bringing, and I don't know your deck list. So that's like, it's not really a match, ultimately. Unfortunately, that's like the nature of streaming, but if I could see my opponent's entire deck list, and they don't get to see mine, it's an insane advantage. It's like a different game. I'll just get someone random who's online. You think I pre-side you? No, I don't think you do. Based off of our record, I don't think you do. But I just don't think it's like... It's not the type of game I want to play right now, King Ray. I want to play a game against someone who doesn't know every card in my deck. Good night, bro. The type of game I want to play right now is against just someone who is like, doesn't know. If you open Goblin with Master, you have a play. Okay, do you understand? You don't have a play. If you open Goblin with Master, you don't have a play. The Goblin has to die, and then you have to have another pitch with Master. You know what I mean? And that play isn't good. It loses to every back row in the game. That's not a play. That's just punt into any back row. Oh, let's see Sleepy Boy. Good luck, have fun. But yeah, no, Zombie Master is just not a very good card. Unfortunately, I wish it was better. If it resolved into back row, it'd be so much better, but it just doesn't resolve into back row, which is like very unfortunate, obviously. Holy shit, this hand's crazy. It's probably a Luraway Plague, weirdly enough. Yeah, it's a Luraway Plague and then pass. Drop Gores, Heavy Storm, Goblin plus Teleport. Oh, never mind. What is this? Caius the Set, attack for 24. It's not letting me click main phase 1. We're lagging. Okay, we're back. Do we burn the E-Telly now, or do we just go Goblin Attack? I think Goblin Attack is safest. Yeah, let's go Goblin Attack. It's hamster. Alright. That sucks. We got 50-50. But it's probably fine. Main phase 2, E-Tilly blow up the field. Search. So if he has Caius, which I'm assuming he does because his hand is full of cards, he'll just Caius the Goblin Zombie, then we can't really drop cores, which is a fucking pain in the ass, so I'm going to blow up the board. It doesn't seem like a great play because it isn't a great play, but it is a functional 1-for-1, I think. Yeah. And I'm going to search Mizuki, I believe. Mizuki, second column. Mizuki, second column. Mizuki, second column. Let's go, Mizuki. Let me know if you ever want a money match since you want to talk about records. That's funny. I'll money match you in person, King Ray. How about that? We'll money match in person. Next time I see you in person, we'll money match. Does that sound good to you? Does that sound fair? What deck is this guy playing? I don't understand. I literally don't understand. That Royal Decree main is a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. Raiko, okay. Pop Mizuki. Alright, sick. +1. Looks like he's playing Value Turbo. This matchup is generally good. But they have some tools. Specifically this fucking card right here. That is not something we ever want to see. Royal Oppression is scary too, but like they don't usually have a game 1, but sometimes they do. Next RBT in Florida. Let's do it. Next RBT in Florida, I'll play you in person. That way you won't know my entire deck list. I'll play for money. Alright, set 1 pass. Draw is Solemn Judgment. Alright, sick. It's just Turtle Poke, right? What's he trying to set up here? Brain control? Yeah, it's probably some brain control bullshit. Alright, Turtle Poke. Real money though, no $20 matches. Okay, buddy. You got it. Oh, full pass. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Hit again, set the legacy. Do we have game next turn? Let's see. Yeah, we have game next turn, but not through Gores, I don't think. I have to crunch some numbers here. All right, let's fire this. See what we draw. Instant. Okay, Heavy Storm. There goes Typhoon Torrential. Very nice. Okay, so he might have Gores of his own. I'm trying to see if I can win through Gores. I think I can. Let's see. Oh, I can set up an insane board. Goblin Zombie. Does he have main deck Crows? If he does, then this is like super pre. I don't think he does, but this is a fucking crazy hand. Diva, activate. Special Diva. Goyo. Is it Goyo or is it Bryo? It's Goyo, right? Because Goyo's the game shot. Yeah, Goyo's the game shot. It's 62 with Urbellum. Activate Goblin Zombie. Probably just search Goblin Zombie as the last target. That is an Illblood, and we want to leave Illblood in the deck. I have bring out the sick This matchup does get harder post board. I need to check my sideboard strategy. I believe it was like some combination of these 7 cards come in. It's actually a matchup where I side out a good amount of back row because you just play like guys, and that's usually enough. I actually do usually side out the decrees in this matchup as well, which is like kind of stupid because they have oppression and what's that other card? So maybe I should leave them in, but oh, Deck Devastation Virus. That's the card I was thinking of. Yeah, maybe I should leave them in. I don't know. But I usually just side them all out. I want every single one of my back row to do something into Raikou, which is kind of the point. Then I sometimes bring in Consecrated Light, depending on how they're siding. But it's pretty chill vibes, you know. I'd probably cut like some random shit, like fucking Necrogardna, I guess. Doesn't seem that useful. Should be fine. I think I remember this being my sideboard strategy. I don't know for sure if it was, but I think I remember it. If we get turn 1 deck dev here, it's kind of tough, but actually this hand's not bad. We have double banish for the graveyard. If we draw Caius, we're probably just winning. Gorge is always insane against this deck. Hamster is annoying. I think he is playing 2 Hamster, if I remember correctly. I still think it's worth going Pyramid Turtle attack. We have a second setup here, and I don't mind trading Raikou for Turtle because we have Book of Life. So I think I am going to do this. It's Hamster again. He does have 2 hamsters. It is very annoying, but it's what it is. I can't do anything about it. Alright, Caius here sucks. We'll just pass the turn. Yeah, that is annoying. Okay. He does have it. Vanities would have been worse, but Caius is very fucking annoying because that was my zombie. It's lagging like crazy right now. I wonder if that's the server. Yeah, it's the server. It's on my internet. Alright, what are you hitting? Hits the Gorge. That's fine. Doesn't matter. We'll Solemn. Still pass? Question mark? Yeah? Okay, cool. Sick. Second Book of Life. How frustrating. I'm going to play fucking full send into Mirror Force. I need to. I don't have the luxury to play differently here. So, we're going to go Rat. Normal summon. Question mark. I need to empty his grave, basically. So, we'll switch this to attack. Battle phase. Crash Rat. Take 1,000. Activate the effect. Go get Turtle. We have to crash the Turtle. Get Ill Blood. Attack here. 1,200. Dies. Go get Ill Blood. Alright, 6. So we got Ill Blood. We got Token. Ill Blood runs over the Raikou. He takes like 19 or whatever. And then Token attacks the Caius, which crashes. Main phase 2, I will Book of Life, Turtle, and Raikou. Play around Chaos Sorcerer. I think it's like a pretty safe play. We have a Crow for defense. We have an ugly instant fusion, but our Book of Life is online. Looks like he can't stop it, so that's kind of nice. He might have Brain Sacks a deck dev, which would fucking suck, but there's like nothing we can do about that. There's Reinforcement of the Army. This is perfectly fine. This could be a dad setup. If he goes Armageddonite, send Plague, I may wait for the Plague activation to Crow, but if he just drops dad, then we insta lose, so there's that. He's got Dark Refer. That's probably fine then. This might be a Dark Refer pitch something, set up something, set up I don't even know. We're not in a good spot. He has all the initiative and he has card advantage. Like, significant card advantage. Okay, there's Dark Grepher. Okay. If we can retake this position, pitch Sirocco. Okay, that's going to send the Vayu or the Plague. I don't really know what he's going for here. Oh, he's going Vayu. All right. Activate. I'll chain DD Crow. Hit the Vayu. He does have 3 darks. Dad hears game. Just new back row. It's perfectly fine. E-Telly is good. We can go E-Telly. We have a lot of options. And then none of them are really that bad. I'm trying to think of the best one, but Torrential's gone, right? Oh, it's not. Wow. Okay. Big think. Instant Fusion would have to lead to normal Illblood. So if I go Italy, Black Rose, Book of Life, normal Illblood. Bring out Turtle, hit. Have instant rotting in hand. Is it better to instant fusion first, E-Tilly out, Krebins, and then go for the Black Rose that way so that I can bring back Reaper? I'm basically trading instant in hand for Reaper, for a Reaper hit. But then I'm at 18 and I have an exposed Reaper, but he has 1 card in hand. It's fucking shit, man. That's really ugly. Okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. This is a limit test. Oh, I typed 1000 in the wrong place. It says think here. Okay. Is Crash Turtle ever a play? I don't think we have anything left to get. We have a Mizuki left to get. Go here. He said think here, which is interesting. That means he might have oppression. I'm still going to go for my play. I'm going to force the oppression up. Summon Krebins. Synchro into Black Rose. Activate the effect. This is really risky, by the way. This is not a good play. Okay, so he's letting this through. All right. He said think. Oh, wow. He maybe should have chained the return. It would have gotten the value back in the grave, but doesn't really matter. Book of Life, Blood, and Sirocco. So, bring out Illblood. Special summon. This could get me fucking owned, but it's lagging like crazy. I'm in a normal Illblood, bring out the Reaper. Hit him for 800, die to Gores instantly. Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna go for it. This is like a full limit test moment. This is maybe not a play I would make in tournament. I think I would make a more conservative play in tournament. Normal. Effect. Yeah, this is max greed. We're just limit testing here. I'm not sure if this is a good play. If we hit a dark, it's nice to shut off Dad. Activate the effect. Okay, hit that card. We hit Sirocco. That is really unlucky. If he has Armageddon Knight, we fucking lose instantly. Damn. We shut off Dad, but we do kind of lose instantly now to Armageddon Knight, which sucks. He might have it too. That's a good follow-up to the Gruffer. He did Rhoda for Gruffer. Mirror Force is gone, though, so if the Illblood sticks around, we get to bring something back, I guess. Just set monster. Oh, that's very good for us. Now we should be okay. No, this isn't great. Still, it isn't great. Because if that's Raikou, then Raikou pop, Illblood, and then I just have Goblin Zombie in play. Is there a way I can navigate this differently? No. I think this is the only way. He doesn't have Plague, so. Is there a reason to not bring back the turtle in case it is his own Plague? If it's his own Plague, then it's better to save the Illblood. Okay, let's do that. Let's go Battle Phase, Reaper attack directly, hit for 800, activate, discard your hand. It's a Raikou, so this is another Raikou. What's up, Miles? How are you doing? So the set monster is another Raikou. He's gonna blow up the Illblood and is gonna clear both. What's Hamster? Okay, interesting. Very interesting. We're not in a terrible spot. It's just not a great spot to be in. Main phase 2, activate Illblood, because why not? I mean, at this point, there's no Plague anywhere. Set the Goblin Zombie and pass the turn. So he pops Illblood. We lose everything we brought back off Illblood, which sucks. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Yep, there goes Illblood. We lose everything. What did he mill? Sorcerer. He top decked Sirocco. Okay. Thankfully not a Caius, but Goblin Zombie is going to activate. And Goblin Zombie will get us to Mizuki, which gets us out of the situation. So, cool. The best play we can do here is win the game. That was a good top deck. He doesn't have Necro, right? Yeah, no Necro. Okay. Normal Mizuki, activate enemy controller, take the Sirocco, banish Mizuki, bring back Illblood, and then attack for game. GG's. GG's. Crazy set. Probably. Are you talking about return back value? Chain 2. If you sent Plague, I win for sure off your Plague. Okay, game through Crow with return. Makes sense. Wasn't thinking far enough. Yeah, Probs didn't think of Crow. If you thought of Crow, then maybe. You Crow. Had 2 cards in hand. I don't remember how low I was. I was pretty low. Turn back Raikou Plague, make Armory. I think that works. I don't remember how low I was though. I had what? What was it? What did I have in play at that moment? I'd have to rewatch. Main character difference, yeah, for sure. Love going for game with enemy controller. Yeah, it's very good. 300. Cool damage though, or cool deck though. You as well. Cheers, bro. Yeah. So whoever was watching, that is a much more. That game was a couple of different concepts. Like you force your opponent to misplay by having hand traps, because your opponent just doesn't think about them. So they just go for like, I don't know, basic plays because they think you have no background. They think they're just gonna win no matter what. I don't know about that. I'd have to watch that game again and see if he had game through. I don't know if he had game. I'd have to check the life. I was at 2800 life when that happened, was I? Had I already crashed at that point? I'll have to rewatch the stream. I don't really know. Because he was going Greffer, Sirocco, Vayu. What was that in response to? What was in play? I don't remember what was in play. Was it the... Marionette might want to know your location. Marionette might is like hand spell, kind of. That was a good match, though. This deck is good, basically. That's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to play multiple enemy controllers. Because sometimes you'll get your opponent low and you'll get down to that state, and then you can just like take their guy and win. And you have so many good sacrifices. Like each one of the divas, Goblin Zombie, Mizuki, anything you bring back off Illblood, any one of these like ways to get extra bodies, Instant Fusion, E-Tilly, Return, Call, Starlight Road even. I've sacked a Stardust off Starlight Road to Econ to win for game. You know what I mean? Like you can brain something, then sack that to take another thing. You have so many sticky bodies as well. Like just Krebin sticks around and then you Econ, sack, take their guy, call back the Krebins, that sort of thing. Sphere of Chaos to search might. You might be overcooking Mr. Tag. You can't summon Sphere of Chaos if Zombie World's in play. So when you Black Rose after he passed on Greffer. So I had Illblood Pyramid Turtle in play, right? I had Illblood Pyramid Turtle. How does he game me there? Yeah, Bryonic Armory Arm. It would have had to been Bryonic Armory Arm. He had Mirror Force and Return set, yeah. Just cheat, Skater Boy. That's funny. Yeah, he may have had me there. That matchup is hard. I think that matchup is legit hard. It's like one of the more annoying matchups. It's the matchup where I wish I had the third Book of Life. It's the matchup where I wish I could keep in Decree, but you just can't because it's not very good. It's a matchup where if you do draw a skill drain, you probably just win unless they deck dev you for 80. It's an annoying matchup for sure because it's like deck dev and you can't Decree them. So it's like you just kind of have to eat deck devs against that matchup. It's fucking annoying. But once you get Illblood going, it's pretty good. He's kind of just like a core... He's like core resource engine. I don't know. You guys saw that game, though? You saw that, like, Zombie Master there. Didn't really make a difference. Wouldn't really make a difference. The idea. You don't really need it. Like, against the meta decks, you just don't really need it. If he went Plague and then didn't kill me, then I probably would have beat him with his own Plague. Because Illblood can take from either graveyard. And that was what? That was game 2. And then we would have had game 3 going first as well. I think the matchup is zombie favored. Weirdly enough, because of Triple Crow. But it's just an annoying matchup. It's just not a fun matchup to play because sometimes they can just sack you. And it feels... What is the word? It feels frustrating when you lose the matchup because it feels like you outplay and then they just sack you with like a one-of. Because it's a pretty easy deck to outplay. It's a pretty linear deck. When you actually spend the time to practice it. Or practice against it. That game he had an interesting line with Return. So I was tracking my losses with this deck. This deck here. Not this exact one, but the one with the one that I took to the tournament most recently. And my biggest losses were to specifically deck dev, Starlight Road, and Return. Not in any particular order. Decree and main is based. Yeah, I love Decree. Is this zombie or Synchro Turbo with more zombie now? It's a Synchro Turbo with the same amount of zombies, but I'm playing 2 giant rats to get the Pyramid Turtle faster. It's a few changes to the list. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, those are the 3 cards I was losing the most to. Like Starlight Road, Deck Dev, and Return. I wasn't losing much to anything else. Why does Deck Dev exist? It's such a dumb card, dude. It is such a stupid. I hate this card so much. This deck could actually play this card, but I choose not to because I'm based. But yeah, there were a lot of people who are like, why didn't you just play Deck Dev yourself? And I'm like, you're right. I should have just played Deck Dev myself. But there is a version. So like, let's say we go to one of the other like more old versions. That just plays Deck Dev. And it plays the rats. It probably plays more rat. And your whole goal is to just get to Illblood as quick as possible and then spam it with like Book of Life. This list probably also plays like multiple instant fusion. More instant fusion, more this. And then you would like adjust this lineup. Probably still play Solemn because it's fucking insane. But yeah, you'd figure out a configuration here that works, that gets to Deck Dev as consistently as possible. But yeah, you can definitely play a build that plays Deck Dev. Do you feel the battle summoners get clunky? Absolutely not. I've described this concept in like 800 different videos, but no, I never feel like these cards get clunky. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. People think that they do, and I'm like, they just don't. They just do everything you need them to do. It's a zombie normal summon that gets you access to your whole engine, and it's not like people are going to win outside of battle. Like, they have to attack you, right? And if there's a stalemate, you can always break stalemates with Bryonic. That's like something I learned playing fairies is like, if you're the one initiating the stalemate and you have the break and your opponent can't break, then you're just winning. Like, also Recruiter plus Decree is a really good setup in Edison format because most of the ways that they deal with Recruiter plus Decree involve trap cards, and if they're not dealing with them via trap cards, then they're dealing with it via Caius, and they'll Caius your Recruiter, but then they can't deal with the Decree, so it splits the Caius where it should hit. It's not insanely good into Raikou Caius, but because Pyramid Turtle is a zombie, you can attack with Pyramid Turtle into Raikou, and then just Book of Life, and then be on the winning side of that, because you end with the initiative, and you get to banish whatever they milled. So it's like, because of Book of Life specifically, and because of the nature of Pyramid Turtle, it's very good. Same thing in the Fairy deck, Shining Angel, because you have Herald of Orange Light, and because of the nature of Herald of Orange Light, Shining Angel is very good. Nova Summoner by extension. Giant Rat is basically your Nova Summoner in this deck, and Pyramid Turtle is basically your Shining Angel. But the decks play very differently. Just the core setup plays are going to be pretty similar. You want to hear what you thought about it in this deck? Oh, they're fucking great. The fact that it's a zombie makes it infinitely better. If it wasn't a zombie, then I don't know, you'd have to have like a Herald of Orange Light, or you'd have to have something like really good. If I was to rank all the battle recruiters, so let's just grab this line of text here. When this card is destroyed by battle. Let's grab this. Let's do Edison format. Search when this card is destroyed by battle. Search release date. All right, we've got Flying Kamakiri, F, Giant Germ, probably like C, D to C tier. It is 3 darks for dad, and it burns, which is cool. Giant Rat is really good. It has some of the best options. So it's probably like B or A tier. Shining Angel is S tier. Tomato is probably S tier because it's a plant. But Tomato has some of the, like, weirdly enough, it doesn't have as good options as Giant Rat and Shining Angel. Because it doesn't deal with things offensively as well. Mother Grizzly is probably good because it gets Substitute, so it's probably like B or A. UFO gets Lone Fire, so it's probably like B. Turtle's probably S because it's a zombie. Shining Angel and Turtle are probably the 2 best in the format. Masked Dragon's probably B because it has a pretty good toolbox and dragons are insane. Apprentice Magician's probably like as good as Giant Rat. How good 3 Crow into Vayu for you? It feels mandatory. Nova Summoner's S just because it gets Shining Angel. Colossal Fighter, Keck. Are there any other battle recruiters in the format? I guess Ojama Blue, technically. Emmer's Blade's probably S as well, just because it's archetypal. Yeah, I actually think the Tomato is Not as good as it should be, unless you have a very dedicated engine for it, like it's getting Summoner Monk. If it's getting Summoner Monk, you're cooking. If it's not getting Summoner Monk, then this card's it's not that great. It does fuel Mark of the Rose, it does fuel Amaryllis, so it's not like terrible, but it's like definitely worse than like Shining Angel. Shining Angel and Pyramid Turtle are the two best. Don't forget about Troop Dragon. Yeah, of course. Troop Dragon, which you can get off of Mass Dragon, right? I don't even know. I don't even see it. Yeah, Shining Angel's S tier, Pyramid Turtle's like S tier. They're like the best. Good night, Plastic Tube. Have a good one. What's preventing us from adding the third rat? I don't know. Maybe just don't want to draw multiple rats. I think 5 is enough. That's probably it. Probably just need 5. That's how much I play in Fairy, and it's like never an issue, usually. What's Troop Dragon do? Is this card any good? No, it only grabs 1. Ew. If it grabbed 2, it'd be good. Yeah, if it grabbed 2, it'd be pretty good. Something I thought about too is like in some situations, battle recruiters plus symbol of heritage is kind of cool. Activate if there are only 3 monsters of the same name in your graveyard. Select one of those monsters, special summon, and equip with this card. When this card is destroyed, destroy the equipped monster. Keep this in mind. So like, you can go turtle, turtle, turtle into goblin, right? Or into plague. If you have a way to get a tuner into play, it's not bad, or a non-tuner. Then symbol is live for Pyramid Turtle for the rest of the game. And you can Bryonic bounce symbol, which gives you infinite bodies as long as you have cards in hand. Because the monster doesn't die if you bounce symbol of heritage. I don't know if it's good, but it's just like something you could do. In theory. Trying to make Moja meta. It will never be meta. It's not a good card. And it doesn't enable a good strategy. And it doesn't enable anything broken. Like, this is not enabling Bryonic Dad, viruses, fucking Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Like, this doesn't enable anything that's, like, technically good. I do think that there is room for, like, a beatdown deck, a beast beatdown deck in Edison format, because there are some interesting cards that aren't terrible. I wish Green Baboon was a little bit better. Unfortunately, it sucks, but I wish he was a little bit better. There are some cool cards that are, like, beast related. So, like... one of the cards I was actually looking at recently was kind of interesting, was Wild Nature's release. I was trying to find a way for this to be good, because that effect is interesting, at the least. So, like, you can Wild Nature release a card. Like, let's say you target, I don't know, who has a lot of stats. This guy. He becomes 4,200. Cool. And then you attack for 42. And then at the end phase, he's destroyed. And then when he's destroyed, you pay 1,000 life points and you bring out Green Baboon. That's kind of cool. I always thought that that would be like a cool way to sort of make Green Baboon good, is by using Wild Nature's release. The unfortunate part is, I don't know if there's like a beast that has good stats, like in the format. I just don't know if there is. I should probably check effect. Holy. But like, not good stats, but like workable stats. Like, you obviously want to get to 4,000 if possible. What does this guy do? As long as it's pandemonium, fucking whatever. What does this guy do? Master of Oz. How do you summon it? This guy you could summon with 1 tribute, but his attack becomes 2,000. That's not very good, is it? When this card is tribute summoned, you can target beast monsters in your graveyard equal to the number of monsters tributed, return them to hand. This guy seems kind of underrated. Maybe there's something you can do with that, like you sacrifice a beast and you grab back a different beast, like a hamster or something like that. I have no idea if I'm playing TCG or TCG OG. I'm playing Edison format, Bryce. This just isn't really... This card can attack twice. Oh. Hold on. What about this? 3,600. It can attack twice, and then you Wild Natures release it. You hit for 72, and then you Ukazi them to death. Combo kill. Two to 3 card combo kill. Wait, that's actually kind of good. Is there a way we could make that more consistent? That's something I've always thought about. This is just like fucking shower thoughts. Rescue Cat's a lot of damage as well with 1 summon. And then you can bring out Green Baboon. And then once you have Green Baboon, you can just Wild Natures release that and just keep going again. There's no Edison OCG. Edison was an event that happened at Shonen Jump Championship Edison. It's named after the event it was happening. But yeah, I think that like the twin-headed beast with the Wild Natures release is kind of cool. I don't know if there's a way to set that up, but that's just like kind of cool. I'm sure there's like a synchro monster that's a beast type too that could be useful. I've always liked Sunlight Unicorn. I think this is like a very interesting card. You play it in a heavy equip style deck. It's just an 1800 light, which is good already. And then once per turn, you could like potentially draw an extra card, and you just find more equips with it. It's kind of cool. I tried this out in a Benkai OTK deck, and I found it to be not bad. Not a bad card. Card randomly draws you cards. It's not bad. I love Twin-Headed Beast. You used him in a Goat Ninja deck. How do you get into him? Do you get into him with the ninjutsu art? You could probably ninjutsu art into him in Edison too. That might be with the way to set it up. Because you could ninjutsu art into him, or like, if it's not the first turn of the duel and there are no cards on the field, you can normal summon the card without tributing. You can destroy all field spells on the field. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. Interesting card. Seems terrible. Yeah, okay. Gotta break Seaman. 5 a.m. stream. It's 2 a.m. here. It's not that bad. Beast Recruiters with Solidarity. You're kind of missing something there. You're missing something there. Solidarity is good when the monsters replace themselves on the summon. Solidarity is good when your monsters are good into back row. Recruiters are generally not good into back row. Recruiters want to die by battle. So, it's a bad combination. The same reason you don't play Solidarity with stuff like Shining Angel. Same reason you don't play Solidarity with stuff like, I don't know, Giant Rat or whatever. Mystic Tomato in like a plant beat deck. It just does. There's no synergy there. There's actually negative synergy, one might add. Twin-Headed Beast thing might be cooking. If you can ninjutsu art into it, there's something there. Maybe not in this format. Maybe in Cube, something like that. Once per turn, you can put a field spell card in the deck. That's crazy. This card attacks when you have no cards in your hand. Your opponent cannot activate any spell or trap cards until after the damage step. Infernities. Oh, this guy. You can Wild Natures release this guy. What does it do? This card can attack your opponent directly. Hit for 52? Holy shit. Wait. How do you summon this guy? Can't be very easy, though. Oh, you just Mausoleum, right? Mausoleum this guy out, and then Wild Natures release. Hold on. Okay, I'm fucking out here right now. Are we cooking, chat, or what? Is this Gear Town terraforming as well? This is cool. Wait, this is cool. Monkey is funny. What does it do? This card would be destroyed by battle. You can tribute one other monster instead, and if you do have your opponent's life. That's so funny. I guess Kalut would be the way to trigger it. There's something here. There's something here. This is actually There's something here. I might build this for like a locals or something. This looks cool. I love this card, Wild Nature's Release. Cannot be targeted for attacks. Yeah, you have to like run into a monster with Honest or Collude, is what I'm saying. Like, it's just so weird. What a terribly designed card. As are most of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's probably a giant Trinade deck, right? It's probably a Megamorph deck too. Although this doesn't work with Wild Nature's Release, unfortunately. Is this just like a double your guy turbo? Like, is this just double your guy turbo? It has to be, right? Fuck, I can't spell. RBT Tampa win. I don't know, sir. I don't know. Double the guy, double the fun. Look at all these doubles, bro. Check my dubs, bro. Check them, chat. Oh, man, that's so many dubs. Wait, what the fuck? This card is awesome. It can't be good, but it's awesome. What's another way to double your guy? Are there more ways? Are there more dubs? The limiter removal makes it complete. Yes. DNA surgery. DNA surgery, you're right. Make this guy a machine and then double his attack and then Wild Nature's Release. Yo! Are we cooking or what? DNA surgery. Make him a machine. Limiter removal, Wild Nature's Release. That doesn't work, does it? You'd have to Wild Nature's Release, then DNA surgery, then limiter removal. Wait, yeah. You'd have to Wild Nature's Release, then DNA surgery, then limiter removal, or vice versa if you have a machine in play. Do you have any big Edison tournaments in EU outside of Ultimate Time Wizard? We're about to throw one. We're about to throw an RBET in Europe. It should be announced very soon. The first Europe RBET will be announced soon. I know. Crazy, right? Who would have thought this stupid 25-year-old game would take me all the way to Europe? I hope I'm not giving away too much. Just building up a little hype, perhaps. But that is going to be the, if you swarm consistently, you could try United We Stand. Don't think I could swarm consistently with this. It's probably like summon one guy and just get some cheese OTKs. This doesn't look like a real deck, unfortunately. I think, however, Hamster may be necessary because it's a beast. And it can become 2900 with Wild Nature's Release, which is kind of cool. I think you're going to run into some issues, too, where Megamorph doesn't actually work with Wild Nature's Release. Because it overrides the Wild Nature's Release. For anyone attempting to put this together right now, I hope that you don't make that mistake. Because that is how that would work. Unfortunately. Karate Man can double his attack, then you can DNA surgery him to machine, then limiter removal him, so he's 4k. We could also just play a monster that's 2000 attack. Like, we could just play Cyber Dragon. But yes. You're right. What is his wording? How is he worded? Karate Man. Double the original attack of this card once per turn. Damn, that sucks. If it was just double the attack of this card once per turn, this card would be fucked up. This card would be so good. What's that one where it's like Mahavilo? This card was always cool. He just gets more attack for each equipped spell. I always liked this card when I was a kid. Barbaros isn't a beast. He's a beast warrior. So he doesn't work with a green baboon, unfortunately. But yeah, you could play Barbaros. Sadly, he is a beast warrior, though. Sadly. This card's kind of cool. I like this card. I wonder if this card is playable. Any sort of like double attack thing is always cool for me. Like Blackluster Soldier Light. Because Blackluster Soldier is just a fucking insane card, right? It's just such a good card. Begin with a reptile and the possibility to clear the whole terrain with Viper's Rebirth and Earthbound Immortal Karayahua. You have to cook something like that. I don't know if I can. I think that's like above my pay grade. Mamongas to Baboon doesn't activate in the damage step. Not in the damage step. Except during the damage step. It doesn't work when your monster is destroyed by battle. Only by card effects. Not during the damage step. Cyber Dragon plus DNA. You could build something cool here. You could build something cool for sure. I don't know if this guy would count, like, if they were beast in the grave or on the field. Someone figure that ruling out. If your monster is not, like, no longer a beast when it leaves the field, would Green Baboon, does it, because it does check sent to the graveyard, right? Does it check it if it's a beast when it's sent to the graveyard? A Goddess of Whim can keep attempting double its attack with a coin flip. It only became once per turn. What? What? Once per turn, you can. Holy shit. That's broken. Wait, what if we just search the word double? What have we got? Dark Snake Syndrome. Okay, double battle damage when they attack this monster. Oh, I always like this card. Inflicts the battle damage card inflicts by attacking your opponent's life points directly is doubled. I always like this card. I wish there was a way to make this good. It's just too weak, sadly. Cross counter. What's this? Ancient Gear Factory. Double the monster. Rock type defense point is attack. Double the battle damage. Doesn't do anything. Double the original attack and defense of this card. That's not very good. This card's special summon from the graveyard. Its attack and defense become double. But that's not even good. 1200 is not even good. This card destroys a monster by battle and sends the graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. This card sucks. Holy shit. Double its original attack. Fuck. Fucking Plague Wolf, bro. What is this? Arcana Force 1. Its original attack. God damn it. Makes the attack become double its original attack. God damn. Morphtronic. Double its original attack. Fuck. What does this guy do? If this card is flip summoned, I used this card. I've used this card in a duel. I've used this card in a duel. Contribute summon this card by attributing one face up a dinosaur monster. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. If this card is flip summoned, change all other monsters on the field to face down defense position. This card attacked. Any battle damage your opponent takes from that battle is doubled. Pause. Pause. Shield and Sword Sauropod Brachian. OTK. Is there a way to kill someone with this card, like, consistently? Cannot be special summon from the deck. But is there a way to just fucking dome someone for 8,000 with this, like, pretty easily? Like, what's the setup? You go Gillosaurus, sack Gillosaurus for Brachian. Hold on. So Gillosaurus, Sachylosaurus for Brachian. That's not good. Mausoleum Outbrachian. Alright, Mausoleum Outbrachian. Then what? Final attack orders. It's been good, Oscar. How you doing? Final attack orders. What? How would that get us the attack, though? How would that get us... If this card is attacked... Oh, it has to be is attacked. Oh, I thought it says if this card attacked. Oh, I thought this card... It was if this card attacked. I've used this card in a duel. I feel like I should know it. I used this card in Junior Journey when I was on MDT's channel. I'm pretty sure I used this card. Or it was used against me. I don't remember. I either used it or it was used against me. I don't remember. It's a weird format. It's kind of cool, though. Man, alright, that's enough of this.